Chapter 1232. Brat, stop pretending in front of me. Judging from Zhu Qiwu's murderous look, it wasn't hard to guess what the second step was. Lin Moyu knew that the human race must have already prepared for the worst. If the military star map fell into the hands of the demon race and it was confirmed that it couldn't be retrieved, the human race would use their last resort to completely erase Area 7 to 77. Although the human race would pay a great price, compared to the importance of the military star map, this price was certainly bearable. Lin Moyu asked in a deep voice,
"What about the people in Area 7 to 77? Shouldn't we notify them to evacuate?"
Zhu Qiwu shook his head.
"No evacuation. They have already received corresponding tasks. They will intercept and harass the demons, trying to delay as much time as possible."
It was a cruel reality. Not only could those people not evacuate, but they also had to intercept the demons. This was not easy, as the demons were deploying their army, whose combat power was far superior to ordinary cultivators. In a one-on-one situation, human cultivators were not afraid of demons of the same level. But facing an army, it was a completely different matter. It could be said that 1,000 first-tier God King human cultivators would definitely lose against the same number of demon soldiers of the same level. Unless they could completely crush the opponent in terms of cultivation level, ordinary people could not compete with an army. Zhu Qiwu saw what Lin Moyu was thinking and sighed.
"There's no other way. It's just a task, not a death order. They just need to hold off for a while. We don't expect too much from them." Fortunately, Hirinxing didn't fully disclose the location. In Area 7 to 77, there is a black hole with 5 satellites nearby, 2 of which are stars. It's not that easy to find the military star map.
Lin Moyu was not familiar with Area 7 to 77, so he didn't comment. At this moment, Zhu Qiwu threw a jade tablet to Lin Moyu.
"This records information about various areas in the Vermilion Bird battlefield. Take a look at the information on Area 7 to 77.
Lin Moyu's eyebrows twitched twice. It was obvious that he was being asked to go there. Without saying a word, Lin Moyu began to check the information. In the Vermilion Bird battlefield, there were 10 war zones, each guarded by a star fortress. Each war zone was further divided into several areas, each with its own characteristics. The areas corresponding to fortresses 1 to 6 were on the outskirts of the battlefield. The higher the fortress number, the more dangerous the area, and the higher the level of strong cultivators it could accommodate. Lin Moyu didn't know how this situation was formed, whether it was man-made or natural. The 6th area was the most dangerous among the basic areas, with power suppression relaxed to the 3rd tier of God King. It could be said that the 6th area was a buffer zone between true gods and God Kings. In the areas governed by the 7th fortress, it was already the inner part of the battlefield, dealing with God King level threats. Therefore, it was almost impossible to see true gods here. Most were God Kings. Even the garrison here was primarily composed of God Kings. Lin Moyu carefully read the information about Area 7 to 77. Facing an area where God King level experts operated, he had to be cautious. In this area, the power limit reached the 6th tier of God King, and those active here were all experts between the 1st and 6th tiers of God King. This area produced a material called black stone, which sounded like an ordinary name. But as a God King level material, black stone had many special abilities. Black stone contained 2 laws, the stellar fire law and the black hole law. The stellar fire law belonged to the 2nd tier of laws, and its power was not weak among fire laws. The black hole law was ranked in the 1st tier of laws with immense power. However, the amount of black hole law contained in black stone was extremely rare, making it difficult to comprehend the black hole law from black stone. It required a massive amount of black stone, special methods to amplify the internal laws, and refining them into one to have a chance of comprehension. Nevertheless, this did not hinder black stone from becoming a God King level material. Besides comprehending the black hole law, black stone could also be used to refine defensive magic treasures. Magic treasures made from black stone also contain some characteristics of the black hole law, capable of absorbing a large amount of attacks, thereby reducing damage. However, obtaining black stone was not easy, and refining magic treasures required a large amount. making black stone very precious. After reading about the special products of Area 7 to 77, Lin Moyu focused on some key points in the area. The center of this area was a small black hole. The black hole was not large and posed no threat to true gods. But for God King level cultivators, the black hole was a deadly place. The closer one got to the black hole, the more dangerous it became. Once sucked in, survival was slim. However, the closer to the black hole, the more black stone there was, leading many to risk their lives. The saying,
People die for wealth, birds die for food.
applied here. Outside the small black hole, there were 5 stars. These 5 stars were captured by the black hole's power, orbiting around it. Among the 5 stars, 2 were stars, always on opposite sides, maintaining a constant distance from the black hole and each other. The other 3 stars were ordinary planets, slightly farther away, forming a triangle with the black hole, orbiting each other. From the perspective of the great world, this form of existence was very strange and shouldn't be so. If captured by the black hole's power, they should gradually approach the black hole and eventually be swallowed. But this was a battlefield, a place with chaotic laws, where anything could happen. In addition, there were many other stars in Area 7 to 77. Some stars were intact, some were fragmented, and some occasionally exploded. The power of a star explosion was enough to kill low-tier god kings. Moreover, in Area 7 to 77, there lived a type of star beast called the black hole snake. The black hole snake spent most of its time in a dormant state, either hidden in the dark starry sky or inside stars. Once awakened for some reason, they would start feeding. Those searching for black stone were their food. After reading the information, Lin Moyu said lightly,
It's very dangerous.
After all, it was already inside the battlefield, much more dangerous than the outskirts. Zhu Qiwu said lightly,
Finished reading?
Lin Moyu nodded and returned the jade tablet to Zhu Qiwu. The jade tablet contained detailed information about all areas in the battlefield, far more detailed than what was available outside, belonging to the military's internal data. Lin Moyu wanted to read it all, but he didn't have the time. Just reading the information about Area 7 to 77 had already taken a lot of time. This kind of information couldn't be skimmed through. It needed to be read carefully, not missing any details, which was time-consuming. Zhu Qiwu put away the jade tablet.
We are now heading to Area 7 to 77.
Lin Moyu asked in confusion.
You want me to intercept the demon army? You think too highly of me. I'm only at the 6th tier of true god.
Zhu Qiwu glared at Lin Moyu.
Brat, stop pretending in front of me. I know exactly how strong you are.
1233, 1233. Chapter 1233. A special mission with generous rewards. In the nameless void, the warship kept jumping as the laws rapidly became more orderly. This order was only relative to the nameless void. Compared to the great world outside the battlefield, it was still chaotic. If one could clear their thoughts amidst the chaos and find their own path, it would be of great benefit. Lin Moyu accepted the mission, a mission personally issued by Zhu Qiwu. He could not refuse. Senior, there is still one thing I don't quite understand.
Hirinxing is a god. How did he manage to put the military star map in Area 7 to 77?
Area 7 to 77 has a power limit of the 6th tier of God King. Anyone above the 6th tier of God King would be rejected entry. Even gods cannot break this rule. Zhu Qiwu said in a deep voice.
I've also pondered this question, but for now I have no answer. Perhaps Hirinxing used his own methods. This riddle can only be solved by you.
All right. Lin Moyu nodded silently. Zhu Qiwu asked.
Any other questions? Ask them now while there's still time.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
No more questions. The information is already very detailed.
Time ticked by, and a few minutes later, the warship stopped at the nearest outpost base to Area 7 to 77. Using the teleportation array at the outpost base, the two went directly to Area 7 to 77. The advantage of outpost bases was evident at this moment. The battlefield was too vast. Without outpost bases, it would be extremely difficult to reach these areas. In areas with chaotic laws, even god-level warships could not exceed light speed. Without numerous outpost bases, they would completely lose the initiative if anything happened. Establishing outpost bases was a long-term project that cost the human race countless efforts and years to complete. If the demon race obtained the exact locations of the human outpost bases and destroyed them, the human race would be completely passive. Not only did the human race have outpost bases, but all major races had them too. The human race was also searching for the outpost bases of opposing races, using all kinds of methods. But the results were poor and none had been found. If any were discovered, they would be immediately destroyed without hesitation. After a long teleportation, the two appeared in the outpost base of Area 7 to 77. At this moment, Lin Moyu suddenly sensed the aura of the Human Emperor Network. The Human Emperor Network existed here. Zhu Qiwu said,
A temporary connection has been established with the Human Emperor Network. You should have received a mission from the Human Emperor Network now.
Lin Moyu nodded. He had indeed received a mission from the Human Emperor Network. Battlefield mission. Harass and intercept the demon army. In Area 7 to 77, harass and intercept the demon army to delay them. Restriction conditions. None. Completion conditions. None. Mission reward. Rewards will be calculated separately after the mission ends. Note: the strength of the demon army is unknown, and the danger level is unknown. Retreat immediately if there is danger. It is recommended to form teams and act as a group. The human army is setting out immediately. Please hold on. Lin Moyu asked.
When will the army set out?
From the time He Renqing was killed to now, about 40 minutes had passed. The human army needed to gather its forces. Even at top speed, it was impossible for them to assemble in such a short time. After all, to guard the nameless void, the human army had already been deployed elsewhere. Lin Moyu judged that the human army had not set out yet. Zhu Qiwu said in a deep voice,
The army's mobilization is not as fast as you think. At the earliest, it will take an hour.
Only 40 minutes had passed, which meant the human army would set out in 20 minutes. The demon army had definitely already set out, and most likely had already entered Area 7 to 77. Lin Moyu was about to speak when his mind suddenly dinged again. Special mission. Find the military star map. Defeat the demon army. Obtain the military star map, and depending on the situation, defeat the demon army. Restriction conditions. None. Completion conditions. Obtain the star map. Mission reward. 10,000 military merits, 1 contribution point, 1 military supply point. Note: the strength of the demon army is unknown. If there is danger, prioritize survival and delay them as much as possible. Lin Moyu's thoughts raced.
This is a special mission, and it's estimated that not many people will be able to accept it. It might just be me alone. This mission was most likely issued by Zhu Qiwu through the Human Emperor Network. Not many know my strength, and Zhu Qiwu is one of them. The rewards are truly generous, making it impossible to refuse.
10,000 military merits, 1 contribution point, 1 military supply point. The military is really bleeding here, offering such generous rewards, compared to other missions where a few hundred or 1,000 military merits is already considered a lot. But from this, one can also see how important the military star map is. There is no option to accept or reject special missions. Once issued, they exist. Because these missions have no punishment, and it's fine if they are not completed. However, considering the rewards, Lin Moyu would definitely try his best to complete it. Unfortunately, there is no mission center here, so he cannot accept additional battlefield missions. If he were in the Great World, with his level 4 permission, he could accept missions at any time. But it's different on the battlefield, where the rules are independent, including the rules of the Human Emperor Network. Lin Moyu's gaze turned towards the direction of Area 7 to 77. The deep starry sky was like a ferocious beast, baring its fangs, waiting for him to serve himself up. Zhu Qiwu handed him a jade talisman, reminding him,
Once you're there, be careful. If the military star map falls into the hands of the demon race, and it is confirmed that it cannot be retrieved, then activate the jade talisman. I have already set the coordinates. The jade talisman will send you directly back here.
Lin Moyu looked at the jade talisman. It was slender like a finger, covered in complex runes, and emanating a rich aura of laws. He understood what Zhu Qiwu meant. If he confirmed that the military star map could not be retrieved, then the human race would proceed to the second step. Directly destroy Area 7 to 77. At that time, Area 7 to 77 would become a dead zone, and no living beings inside could survive. Before that, Lin Moyu could activate the jade talisman to return. In the end, Zhu Qiwu just wanted him to survive and not become a sacrifice. As for the others, this world was cruel, and the struggle between races was even more so. There was no way to save everyone. The Human Emperor network covered Area 7 to 77, although its coverage ability was weak, unable to conduct full surveillance like in the human domains. But it could still detect some information and make judgments based on that. Lin Moyu put away his life-saving talisman and said deeply,
Rest assured, those guys are my military merits.
With that, he took out the War King Tower and rode it into the pitch-black void, disappearing from Zhu Qiwu's sight in an instant. Zhu Qiwu let out a light sigh.
Hopefully we won't have to take the final step. The cost would be too great.
1234, 1234. Chapter 1234. The People-Eating Demon. The War King Tower sliced through the pitch-black starry sky with a dazzling radiance. This blackness of the starry sky was among the rarest that Lin Moyu had ever seen. The starlight seemed to have been attracted by some powerful existence. The light was distorted, scattered, and interwoven into a dreamlike world. This was because at the center of Area 7 to 77 was a small black hole that absorbed the light from the starry sky. The War King Tower trembled slightly, as if encountering some obstruction, then passed through like a bubble. An invisible attractive force acted upon Lin Moyu and the War King Tower.
The law of gravity.
Lin Moyu was slightly startled. This force acting on himself and the War King Tower was very similar to the law of gravity. But upon careful perception, there was a difference. Gravity did not contain any laws. It was purely the powerful gravitational force born from the black hole itself. This was a starry sky dominated by the black hole. Lin Moyu controlled the War King Tower, rapidly flying in the direction of the gravitational pull. Fortunately, Area 7 to 77 was not too large. If it was as vast as the Area 5 to 38 he had visited before, even with the War King Tower, it would take dozens of days to reach the central area. By then, the vegetables would have wilted. Lin Moyu had already pushed the War King Tower's speed to the limit. With his current realm, the War King Tower's speed reached 150,000 kilometers per second. Even so, it would still take nearly 2 days to reach the central area. He could only hope that the demon army had not arrived by then. The speed of the demon army's warships would not be much faster than the War King Tower. If they were obstructed by human cultivators along the way, stopping and going, Lin Moyu might actually catch up. For countless years in the Vermilion Bird battlefield, the starry sky around Fortress No. 1 had always been the calmest. There were colorful road signs pointing directions with cultivators coming and going. It was the human race's largest base in the Vermilion Bird battlefield. Zhang Ziyue emerged from the teleportation array and followed the road signs towards the battlefield. He had been to the battlefield before, so it was not unfamiliar to him. As the former number 1 on the potential list and current number 2, Zhang Ziyue had come to the battlefield this time because of Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu had rejected his challenge and then disappeared without a trace. The Vermilion Bird domain was so vast that if Lin Moyu did not appear, it would be impossible to find him. Recently, Zhang Ziyue received news that Lin Moyu had come to the battlefield. So after completing his mission, he personally came to the battlefield. He wanted to see what kind of person could snatch away his number 1 ranking on the potential list. As for challenging him, Zhang Ziyue had already given up that thought. Ever since Lin Moyu squeezed into the top 10 of the combat power list a few days ago, Zhang Ziyue no longer wanted to challenge him. That would be pure self-abuse. He had potential but not combat power. His cultivation was only at the 9th stage of True God, and even at full strength, he could only match a God King of the 1st stage. Someone like Lin Moyu, who could enter the top 10 of the combat power list, had a real combat power of at least the 5th stage of God King. It would be suicidal for Zhang Ziyue to challenge him. Zhang Ziyue stood in the starry sky, gazing at the bustling fortress number 1 with starry eyes sparkling.
This time, there are 2 things. One is to advance myself to the God King realm and accumulate military merits. 2 is to meet Lin Moyu and see what kind of divine being he is. He surpassed me on the potential list and the combat power list. Previously, he didn't accept my challenge, not because he was afraid of me, but because he felt it was pointless to bully the weak. To be number 1 on the potential list, you should have the ability to cross realms and fight like me. I don't know your actual realm, but you should live up to that number 1. Moreover, since you've made it onto the combat power list, those guys will definitely come for you.
Zhang Ziyue's eyes flickered with a sharp light. Although he was upset when the number 1 spot on the potential list was taken from him, so much time had passed that he had calmed down. Now he no longer wanted to fight to regain that number 1 spot on the potential list. He just wanted to see what kind of person Lin Moyu was. At the same time, he had also received news that some people on the combat power list were preparing to come for Lin Moyu, especially the one who was previously ranked 10th on the combat power list but was pushed down to 11th by Lin Moyu. That person's heart must be filled with resentment. Zhang Ziyue carried his beliefs and flew into fortress number 1 in the starry sky. After he left, the teleportation array lit up again, and several more people emerged from it. They carried a strong aura of battle intent and immediately flew towards fortress number 1 upon exiting the teleportation array. One by one, the stars rapidly approached and then swiftly retreated in the starry sky. The War King Tower passed by one star after another. From the outside, Area 7 to 77 appeared to be a sizable star system, containing 2 stars that provided light and heat. Unfortunately, most of this light and heat was absorbed by the central black hole, with little reaching the outside. The starry sky remained pitch black and cold, devoid of any vitality. A day later, Lin Moyu saw a damaged demon warship. The warship bore obvious signs of recent battle damage, and it seemed that any further damage would cause it to disintegrate on the spot.
The mission seems to be working.
Lin Moyu felt that the mission must have taken effect, and the human cultivators in Area 7 to 77 had indeed intercepted and harassed the demon army. As for the extent of the effect, Lin Moyu was not clear, but at least the demon warship in front of him had been battered. Lin Moyu did not know how many troops the demons had dispatched or how many human sacrifices had been made. His gaze focused and he suddenly froze. He saw demons hiding behind the warship. In front of them, a fire was burning, and they were eating something. As the War King Tower approached, Lin Moyu finally saw that what the demons were eating was human flesh. A surge of killing intent boiled within Lin Moyu. The damaged warship was here, and the demons had not all left. Instead, they were eating human flesh. If it weren't for the scene of them eating people, Lin Moyu might have ignored them. But now there was no way he could let them go. The demon warship suddenly lit up with a faint glow, and then a beam of light shot out, directly hitting the War King Tower. Although the warship appeared damaged, its early warning system was still intact. Lin Moyu had not concealed his presence, and he was discovered from tens of thousands of kilometers away. 3 God King demons who were eating human flesh simultaneously dropped the bloody meat from their hands and looked towards Lin Moyu together.
More meat has arrived. Human flesh is truly delicious. Hopefully, this time we get a younger one. Old meat doesn't taste good. There are no young God Kings. They're at least a few hundred or even 1,000 years old. No matter what, as long as we can eat.
The 3 God King demons looked at Lin Moyu's War King Tower with cruel smiles. When the War King Tower was only 100,000 kilometers away, the demon warship suddenly released a dazzling radiance, and a layer of black barrier appeared out of nowhere, enveloping the War King Tower. 1235, 1235. Chapter 1235. Don't want unnecessary deaths. The barrier covered a starry sky with a radius of 100,000 kilometers, enveloping the War King Tower within it. The three demons burst into wild laughter, their soul voices echoing through the starry sky.
Another one coming to die. Do you think our warship is broken and can't move, or did you get angry seeing us eat people? Don't you humans always pride yourselves on being smart? How come you're so stupid now, coming one after another?
Amid their laughter, over 1,000 demons flew out of the demon warship. Each demon was at the God King level, forming a military formation in the starry sky, their momentum overwhelming. Lin Moyu was slightly stunned and whispered,
It's a trap. When did the demons become so smart?
The warship wasn't broken. What he saw was just a facade. The demons had parked the seemingly damaged warship here, clearly to attract people over. It seemed that not only were humans intercepting demons, but demons were also preparing to counter-intercept humans. There must be many such traps in the vast starry sky. If there were too few, they wouldn't attract many people. From this, it could also be inferred that the number of demon troops dispatched this time was astonishing. A human star fortress had a total of 10 million troops. Who knew how many demons were stationed and how many were dispatched? Lin Moyu vaguely felt it was tricky. If the number exceeded his undead army, he would also have a headache. The War King Tower stopped, and Lin Moyu flew out of it, his gaze cold as he looked around. The pitch-black barrier emitted a repulsive aura. The demon warship was covered in scars, but they were all superficial. It was actually undamaged. 1,000 God King level demons had already locked onto him.
Why is it a little guy at the 6th stage of True God? What is the 6th stage True God doing here, seeking death? TSK, isn't a 6th stage True God quite good? At least young and tender. Too bad it's a man. If it were a woman, the meat would be even more tender. My favorite sound is the scream of human women before they die. It's the most beautiful sound in the world.
Listening to their unscrupulous words, Lin Moyu's killing intent surged. A faint light flickered at his fingertips, and skeleton generals and death dragon knights appeared in response. In an instant, 100,000 skeleton generals and 100,000 death dragon knights filled the starry sky. The demons were stunned, not knowing what had happened. Why did so many skeletons suddenly appear in the starry sky? Besides the skeletons with swords and shields, there were also dragon knights riding bone dragons. What the heck is this? Lin Moyu's cultivation had reached the 6th stage of True God, and the combat power of the skeleton generals and death dragon knights had increased again. The death dragon knights could now go head-to-head with 2nd stage God Kings, and the skeleton generals were even stronger, surpassing 2nd stage God Kings and approaching 3rd stage God Kings. With Lin Moyu's command, the death dragon knights roared with dragon cries, spewing dragon breath from their mouths. The skeleton generals moved even faster, with 100,000 sword lights shooting out, covering the vast starry sky. The white sword energy pierced through the starry sky, lighting up the pitch-black starry sky like a brilliant star, dazzlingly bright. The newly appeared star carried the light of destruction and the breath of death. The dragon breath of the death dragon knights turned into blazing undead flames, igniting the starry sky. The star of death became even more dazzling.
Defend!
The demon god king shouted, his expression twisted with fear. The warship shone brightly, casting light over the demons' formation. The demons released their law domains, setting up defenses. But their defenses were so weak in front of the 200,000-strong undead army. The defenses were torn to shreds almost instantly, and the attacks far exceeded their endurance, falling on each demon. Their bodies were torn apart by the sword energy, turning into fragments and completely dissipating in the starry sky. Lin Moyu could see their expressions before they died. Disbelief, fear, terror, pain, all kinds of emotions. The sword light and dragon breath slaughtered the demons, sweeping through them and falling on the warship. The warship roared, and a barrier appeared. The barrier shattered under the attack. The dragon breath ignited the warship, burning fiercely in the starry sky. Screams came from the warship. There were still demons inside. The warship started, trying to escape, but the Death Dragon Knights moved quickly, using charge spells to cross tens of thousands of kilometers of starry sky in an instant, rushing into the warship. A few seconds later, the warship, which had just started and hadn't flown far, fell silent again. All the demons inside were dead. Not one left. The God King level warship, made of God King level materials, remained intact in the undead flames of the dragon breath. Under Lin Moyu's will, the Death Dragon Knights absorbed the dragon breath, and Lin Moyu unceremoniously put the warship away. He already had 3 demon warships in his storage space, and now he had another one. These were spoils of war. Although he couldn't use them, they were valuable and could be exchanged for points. The skeletons collected the flesh and blood scattered in the starry sky. They would be the best weapons for Lin Moyu to detonate the battlefield. From the moment Lin Moyu stopped to the end of the battle, it took less than 5 minutes. He re-entered the War King Tower and continued flying towards the center of the area. The longer the delay, the higher the chance of the demons finding the star map. Half a day later, Lin Moyu saw another demon warship. This time, the demon warship was in battle, with thousands of human cultivators attacking it fiercely. The starry sky was filled with the corpses of humans and demons. The demons were clearly suppressed, hiding in the warship and not coming out. But even in this situation, the demons did not flee. They relied on the warship's strong defense to entangle with the human cultivators. Lin Moyu frowned.
Are they stalling for time?
He saw through the demons' intentions. They were stalling for time. They didn't want these human cultivators to go to the black hole and disturb the main force searching for the military star map. Lin Moyu controlled the War King Tower, slightly changing direction, and flew past the battlefield 1,000,000 kilometers away. He didn't intervene in this battlefield. The humans had the upper hand and didn't need his help. He didn't want to waste time here, not even a minute. The battlefield gradually receded from view and finally disappeared.
It's good that they don't go to the black hole. The number of demon troops must be considerable. Even if thousands of people go, they might cause some impact, but they won't be able to defeat the demons. This way, there will be fewer casualties. I hope I can find the military star map. Otherwise, if the humans use the final means, all living beings in this area will die.
He didn't want to see so many humans die unnecessarily. Although this was a battlefield and death was normal, dying like that was too worthless. Thousands of God Kings, even if the human race wasn't short of God Kings, thousands of them were not a small number. After flying for another half-day, 2 slightly distorted stars gradually enlarged in his view. Their light was absorbed by the black hole, causing their visual shapes to distort and change. Under the light of the stars, the brightness here increased significantly. 3 planets were on the outermost edge, reflecting the light of the stars. Lin Moyu knew he was close to the center. If the demons were here, they should be nearby. As this thought arose, a demon warship suddenly appeared in his view. Along with the demon warship, there were also several enormous black hole snakes. 1236 1236. Chapter 1236. The demons pouring out. The black hole swallowed the light, affecting visibility. Lin Moyu discovered the demon warships only when they were just 1,000,000 kilometers away due to their deliberate concealment. One by one, demon warships appeared in his sight, densely packed, forming a massive army. Thousands of demon warships, each carrying 1,000 demons, meant there were millions of demons. Lin Moyu's expression gradually became serious. The number of demons dispatched this time surprised him. But thinking about it, it made sense. The military star map was very important. For the military star map, it seemed the entire demon army in the 7th War Zone had come out in full force. If it were him, he would definitely do the same. The human high command should have anticipated this situation, so the number of troops dispatched would not be small, which is why it took some time to gather. Lin Moyu couldn't help but estimate in his mind. If they used a destructive strike now to completely destroy Area 7 to 77, millions of demons here would die. Even for the demon race, losing millions of demons was not a small number. However, the human race did not choose to use a destructive strike but prioritized retrieving the military star map. Such a collision between the two armies would inevitably cause massive casualties. Even with a 10% casualty rate, it would be normal for millions of soldiers to die in this battle, and it could even result in the deaths of millions of human cultivators. Choosing not to annihilate millions of demons without any loss, but rather to risk significant human casualties, could only mean one thing. The cost of a destructive strike was extremely high, higher than the cost of losing millions of soldiers. It sounded cruel, but Lin Moyu felt his guess was correct. A destructive strike was only the last resort, chosen only when it was certain that the military star map could not be retrieved. Here, Lin Moyu could still feel the connection with the Human Emperor network. Although this connection was very weak, the Human Emperor network temporarily covered Area 7 to 77, which was an undeniable fact. The Human Emperor network could make simple judgments about what was happening here. If the Human Emperor network judged that the military star map could not be retrieved, it would notify the Human High Command, leading to the final step. Taking a deep breath, Lin Moyu inhaled a large amount of starlight, exhaling a colorful glow from his mouth and nose. The space inside the War King Tower instantly darkened. At this moment, Lin Moyu was like a humanoid black hole. It was as if he had made up his mind, his gaze becoming resolute and cold. The law of slaughter surged, bringing intense killing intent.
This is a real battle. It's been a long time since I had a real fight.
Since exterminating the dragon race in the small world, Lin Moyu hadn't truly let loose in a long time. Destroying the gold-eating beast horde and annihilating the demon squads before were just small skirmishes. Compared to the demon army in front of him, they were nothing. The War King Tower continued to approach, and in the blink of an eye, the distance between the two sides was only 500,000 kilometers. From the perspective of the Great World, this distance was already very close. The demons also discovered Lin Moyu. Because he was alone, the demons obviously didn't take him seriously. Since that was the case, Lin Moyu didn't hold back and continued to approach. 400,000 kilometers. 300,000 kilometers. In his sight, the movements of the demons became clearer. The demon warships lined up in a row, blocking the starry sky. The warships were connected, their energies intertwined, forming a massive barrier. The barrier almost surrounded this part of the starry sky, making it impossible to break through. In front of the warships, the demon army was gathered, but their numbers were not large, indicating that more demons were searching for the star map. 3 planets, 2 stars, 1 black hole, and some inconspicuous asteroids and star fragments, all could be hiding places for the military star map. Searching this entire area thoroughly would take a lot of time.
4,600 warships.
Lin Moyu counted the number of demon warships, a total of 4,600. That meant there were 4.6 million demons here, and each demon was at the God King level. Adding the demon army stationed on the periphery, the demons must have dispatched 5,000 warships and 5 million demons this time. Not all demons were at the God King level. Lin Moyu sensed the unrestrained aura of the demons. Some demons were only at the 8th or 9th stage of true God. But there were many God King level demons, estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands. In lower level systems, it was rare to see a single God King. In higher level systems, it was said that God Kings were everywhere, but to say that tens of thousands of God Kings could be dispatched at any time was only possible for an army. Until the distance between the two sides was only 200,000 kilometers. Hundreds of demon warships suddenly lit up simultaneously, and beams of powerful energy shot towards the War King Tower. The beams were pure energy impacts, including flames, ice, dragon-like waves, and mud flows. The demon warships seemed identical, but they actually had different attributes. The demons appeared different in shape and size, like scattered soldiers, but they were internally divided based on the types of powers they controlled. The colorful attacks descended in an instant. Lin Moyu calmly put away the War King Tower, spread his wings of the undead, and disappeared without a trace in an instant. He cut off the soul lock from the other side, stepping on the halo of the law of light speed, further amplifying his speed. In the next second, Lin Moyu appeared in the starry sky tens of thousands of kilometers away. In front of the demon warships, there were several enormous black hole snakes. At the forefront of the demon warships, a peculiar demon suddenly appeared. It was over 10 meters tall, with a thick and long body, and had several tube-like structures on its head that resembled musical instruments, hanging down like fine strings of a harp. Its eyes were very small, but its mouth was very large, taking up nearly half of its body. It also had 4 arms, but instead of ordinary claws or hands, they resembled 4 different musical instruments. Lin Moyu had never seen such a strange demon before, but upon seeing it, Lin Moyu knew its name, the Bewitching Demon. The Bewitching Demon was bathed in starlight, with a giant star behind it. It opened its mouth, emitting a strange tone. At the same time, one of its arms moved, producing a similarly strange and low sound. The hanging strings automatically plucked. For a moment, a peculiar and eerie melody echoed in Lin Moyu's soul. The bewitching sound. The Bewitching Demon's signature spell. The Bewitching Demon did not have strong combat power, but its existence was more terrifying than any demon of the same level. The spells were simple but terrifying. Outside Lin Moyu's soul world, a similar bewitching demon appeared, and the bewitching sound grew louder. His soul seemed to awaken, slowly opening its eyes. With a soul quality at the peak of the 4th grade, his jade soul was purple, with incredibly strong defenses. The bewitching demon at the God King level could not shake Lin Moyu's soul at all. The soul gem on his scourge staff glowed with purple light, casting a layer of purple haze over his soul. The soul robe, personally refined by Lin Moyu, automatically appeared, also radiating brilliant light. His soul was completely unaffected. 1237, 1237. Chapter 1237. Confrontation with the Bewitching Demon. The most terrifying ability of the Bewitching Demon is to bewitch souls. For Lin Moyu, the lightest consequence would be a damaged soul, significantly reducing his combat power. In the worst case, he could be controlled by the Bewitching Demon and become its puppet. However, none of these scenarios applied to Lin Moyu. Regardless of the quality of Lin Moyu's soul, it was further protected by his rebirth. Even a Bewitching Demon at the God Sovereign level might not be able to control Lin Moyu, let alone a mere God King level Bewitching Demon, which was utterly useless. The Bewitching Demon also realized this. It couldn't shake Lin Moyu's soul. Its tone suddenly heightened, and the melody it played changed accordingly. The music shifted from a low pitch to a high one, reverberating through the starry sky like a black hole snake suddenly awakening. The black hole snake's eyes glowed with a bloody light, staring intently at Lin Moyu. They were controlled by the Bewitching Demon and had become its puppets. This control was only temporary, but it was enough. The black hole snakes varied in size, with the smallest being about 1 kilometer long and the largest reaching up to 10 kilometers. From a distance, they didn't seem like much, but up close, they were truly colossal. The strength of these starry sky beasts often correlated with their size. A black hole snake 1 kilometer long had the power of a 1st stage God King, while one 10 kilometers long had the power of a 4th stage God King. Lin Moyu recalled the information he had just read. Black hole snakes had no spells. They only had 3 attack methods: constriction, biting, and tail strikes. They relied purely on physical strength, which was incredibly powerful. Additionally, due to the black hole, the surface of the black hole snakes' bodies exhibited characteristics similar to black stone, allowing them to absorb a large amount of attacks. In other words, their defense was extremely strong. The best way to deal with them was to avoid them as much as possible. Now, the Bewitching Demon had controlled the black hole snakes and was using them as weapons against him, which was indeed a headache. There were 100 black hole snakes, the weakest at the 1st stage of God King, and the strongest at the 4th stage of God King. Moreover, their defense had surpassed the 4th stage of God King, reaching the level of the 5th or even 6th stage of God King. Without using the Skeleton King, killing them would be very difficult. Lin Moyu quickly analyzed the pros and cons. He didn't have time to delay and needed to solve the immediate problem as quickly as possible. Every second was precious.
Since that's the case,
He took a deep breath and lightly tapped his finger. The Skeleton King's throne appeared in the starry sky, rising with undead flames that had no temperature. The Skeleton King, draped in a blood-red cloak and holding a bone sword, rose from the throne. Its gaze fell on the demon, like a king surveying his domain. Lin Moyu's entire body began to glow brilliantly. Original spell, Power Gathering. The Power Gathering spell activated, and his power level rapidly increased. In an instant, he broke through the boundary of the True God realm and reached the God King realm. His combat power continued to rise, and within just 2 seconds, Lin Moyu's level had reached the 7th stage of God King. At this point, his soul felt a swelling sensation, indicating he had reached a safe limit. If he continued to increase his power, his soul would self-destruct after a period of time. That was a last resort measure, and there was no need to use it now. With his power stabilized at the 7th stage of God King, the aura Lin Moyu exuded was terrifying. Even the bewitching demon's music paused for half a second. Then Lin Moyu's aura rose again. Original spell, Strong Soldier. The spells Strong Soldier and Power Gathering were like brothers. While powerful individually, they were even more formidable when used together. Especially under the Strong Soldier spell, his destructive power increased tenfold, and enemies killed by Lin Moyu would become nourishment to enhance his own power. With the two spells combined, a sword appeared in Lin Moyu's hand. It wasn't the Skeleton King's bone sword, just an ordinary sword, and even Lin Moyu didn't know where it came from. But it didn't matter. As long as it could kill, any sword would do. With the two spells enhancing him, Lin Moyu's body expanded, his height exceeding 2 meters. Facing the oncoming black hole snakes, Lin Moyu didn't retreat but advanced. His soul multitasked, instantly locking onto all the black hole snakes. Spell, Godslaying. This unique spell from the Skeleton King could be used for both single target and area attacks. Although locking onto 100 black hole snakes at once would slightly weaken the attack, with the Strong Soldier spell's enhancement, it was enough. In an instant, dazzling sword light illuminated the starry sky. The black hole snakes' bodies simultaneously lit up with brilliant sword light. A large amount of light was absorbed by the black hole, creating long trails of light. The sound of explosions was continuous as the black hole snakes were chopped into pieces. The bewitching demon's music abruptly stopped. It had no rich expressions, but from its eyes, Lin Moyu saw fear. A large amount of soul power surged in, strengthening Lin Moyu's soul and significantly extending the duration of his spells. Lin Moyu snorted softly, his undead wings vibrating, and his speed instantly reached its peak. Like teleportation, Lin Moyu crossed 200,000 kilometers in just over a second. When Lin Moyu reappeared, dazzling light flashed before his eyes, and the demon warship accurately locked onto him. The bewitching demon's 4 arms moved continuously, producing various sounds. These sounds seemed chaotic, but when combined, they formed a unique melody. Accompanied by this melody, the bewitching demon's soul power surged, instantly locking onto Lin Moyu. This lock was like a line connecting the bewitching demon and Lin Moyu, and even the undead wings couldn't sever it. It also gave the bewitching demon some predictive ability. As soon as Lin Moyu appeared in front of the barrier, the demon warship's attacks swarmed towards him. The demon warship's attacks were comparable to those of a 5th stage God King. But unfortunately, they contained no laws. Without laws, pure attacks, whether elemental or physical, were ineffective against Lin Moyu. As the attacks arrived, the bewitching demon's tone changed again, becoming sharp. The tube-like structures on its head emitted a halo. Outside Lin Moyu's soul world, a sharp sword appeared, stabbing straight at his soul. The bewitching demon and the demon warship launched a full-scale, Deadly Assault. The soul attack struck the crystal barrier outside Lin Moyu's soul world, but the barrier remained unmoved. Lin Moyu was equally unaffected by the demon warship's attacks. Facing the fierce onslaught, Lin Moyu swung his sword again. Spell: Godslaying. The same move, but it was enough. The Godslaying spell was incredibly useful, whether for single target or area attacks. It was a divine skill. Sword light flashed on the barrier, causing it to ripple like water. With the power of a 7th-stage God King and a 10-fold damage boost, this strike's power was at least at the peak of the 7th stage of God King, if not the 8th stage. In Area 7 to 77, the highest allowed level was the 6th stage of God King. Except for a few geniuses who could fight above their level, this strike surpassed the limits of most strong individuals here. The barrier shook violently but did not break. This barrier, formed by the combined power of thousands of demon warships, wouldn't break easily. Lin Moyu immediately swung his sword again, slashing down like a storm. Sword light surged, each strike causing the barrier to tremble violently. Another god-slaying sword light fell on the barrier. 1238. 1238. Chapter 1238. The first all-out battle. The Skeleton King arrived and started fighting. Lin Moyu's Skeleton King had combat power comparable to a 6th-stage God King. With the addition of the strong soldier spell, the Skeleton King's combat power faintly reached the 7th stage of God King. This god-slaying sword strike was slightly weaker than Lin Moyu's, but only by a small margin. The barrier was extremely sturdy and still did not shatter. Instead, the long sword in Lin Moyu's hand broke first. The demons behind the barrier laughed grimly, filled with mockery. Although they were surprised by Lin Moyu's powerful combat strength, they believed that as long as Lin Moyu couldn't break the barrier, he couldn't do anything to them. The bewitching demon's melody continued, and the tone changed. From the sound, Lin Moyu could also hear the mockery. Neither the demons nor the bewitching demon believed that Lin Moyu could break the barrier. This was a war barrier, not something that could be broken by an individual alone. The demon army's attacks flashed again, and the third round of attacks was about to begin. Lin Moyu's gaze turned cold.
If I can't break it alone, then let's add more people.
With a thought, the vast starry sky was suddenly covered in a white glow. Death Dragon Knights and Skeleton Generals appeared densely in the starry sky. All the elemental liches were mobilized, and circles of brilliant halos appeared under the feet of all the undead. This was Lin Moyu's first time going all out, holding nothing back. The Lich Generals with healing abilities and the Elemental Liches providing support abilities were all mobilized. The starry sky was covered by the white light of the undead army, filling the entire sky. The demons saw nothing but undead wherever they looked. The smiles on their faces froze, and their eyes began to show an inexplicable fear. The bewitching demon's melody stopped, and all 4 of its arms ceased moving. They were all shocked by the scene before them. The undead army gathered together, like a new star, emitting dazzling light in the starry sky. Lin Moyu took out a new sharp sword and shouted,
Attack!
In an instant, countless brilliant sword energies bombarded the demon barrier. The Death Dragon Knights spewed dragon breath and then charged, crashing directly into the barrier. The dragons swung their claws, and the knights raised their swords. Millions of attacks fell almost simultaneously. The extremely sturdy barrier, which had not shattered under the attacks of Lin Moyu and the Skeleton King, exploded at this moment. The dense attacks did not stop there. After breaking the barrier, they continued to kill the demons within. Screams rang out, and a large number of demons died on the spot. Lin Moyu issued an attack order, commanding the undead army to attack with full force. He flapped his undead wings and instantly disappeared. The next second, Lin Moyu appeared in front of the bewitching demon, his sword already swinging.
You were singing quite happily.
At this moment, in the eyes of the bewitching demon, Lin Moyu was the real demon, and it was just a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. In the sword light, the bewitching demon's body was torn apart, dying on the spot. Lin Moyu's consciousness moved, locking onto a nearby demon team. This demon team consisted of over 100 demons, and their faces changed drastically under Lin Moyu's gaze. Before they could react, an explosion occurred before their eyes. A roaring sound filled their ears, and they were plunged into endless darkness. Stellar level spell. Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion, fusion rate 110%, detonate corpses or remains, dealing damage equal to 110% of the corpse's life force to the targeted enemies. Can attack multiple targets simultaneously. The more targets, the more the damage is divided. Asterisk asterisk. After reaching the stellar level, Corpse Explosion displayed its power for the first time. Previously, when facing the gold-eating beasts, Corpse Explosion had not been effective. But here, Lin Moyu demonstrated the terrifying power of Corpse Explosion. Although the bewitching demon did not have strong attack power, its life force was not weak, and its realm had reached the 5th stage of God King. Corpse Explosion amplified the life force of a 5th stage God King by 1.1 times, and with the 300-fold increase from his talent, the attack power reached 330 times the full force strike of a 5th stage God King. Finally, adding the 10-fold damage increase from the strong soldier spell, the power of the strike was unimaginable. Even a 6th stage God King couldn't withstand it. Although the damage was divided among over 100 demons, they were all instantly killed without exception. Lin Moyu didn't even look at the result, swinging his sword again. Hundreds of kilometers away, another group of demons was simultaneously illuminated by sword light and shattered into pieces. A large amount of soul power surged in, becoming Lin Moyu's soul power and extending the duration of his original spells. The starry sky was filled with fragments of flesh, and Lin Moyu moved as if in an uninhabited land. Original spells were true war weapons, growing stronger with each battle, becoming more powerful with each kill. Facing the demons, there was no mercy. Lin Moyu killed with abandon. The battlefield token at his waist became scorching hot, recording each demon he killed, which would eventually turn into his military merits. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of demons had died at Lin Moyu's hands. Boom! A fireball lit up, turning into a fireball. A demon warship was destroyed. The undead army launched a fierce attack on the demon warships, surrounding almost every demon warship, putting them in a perilous situation. The barriers on the warships couldn't hold for long, and the skeleton generals and death dragon knights stormed into the warships, killing indiscriminately. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and he flew towards the nearest planet with his undead wings. There were many demons on the planet, obviously searching for the military star map. Lin Moyu didn't know where the military star map was, but he knew that as long as he killed all the demons, leaving none alive, the military star map would eventually be his. Part of the undead army also charged towards the planets around the black hole, starting to slaughter the demons on the planets. The demons searching for the military star map stopped their search upon learning of the battle, quickly gathering to prepare for a counterattack. Zhu Qiwu was at Outpost Base 77, surrounded by 4 elders and the Legion commander of Fortress No. 7. The million-strong army of Fortress No. 7 had already set out, entering Area 77. But they were a step too late, and Zhu Qiwu didn't know if they would make it in time. He also didn't want to use the second step, not wanting to destroy Area 7 to 77. But preparations had to be made. He held a small command flag in his hand, intricately engraved with a design of a person facing a star. The star was huge and the person was tiny, but the design gave a strange feeling, as if the person was far greater than the star. This command flag was the last resort, capable of destroying Area 7 to 77.
By my calculations, that brat should have clashed with the demons by now.
Zhu Qiwu connected to the Human Emperor network to check Lin Moyu's information. Due to the Human Emperor network, some data from the battlefield token would be directly transmitted to the network. With some simple analysis, he could see Lin Moyu's current situation. Upon seeing it, Zhu Qiwu's expression became incredibly complex, his eyebrows twitching, and his face slightly contorting. If it were someone else, they might have jumped up on the spot. Zhu Qiwu suppressed his inner shock.
That brat, what is he doing?
In the information from the Human Emperor Network, Lin Moyu's battle achievements were updating at an astonishing speed. 1239, 1239. Chapter 1239. If 5 times isn't enough, then 10 times. Lin Moyu was already in a frenzy, fighting with all his might. He hadn't fought so freely and fully in a long time, enjoying a battle to his heart's content. After coming to the great world, his initial caution due to unfamiliarity gradually dissipated as his level increased. Now, he had truly let go of his restraints and was genuinely fighting for the human race of the great world. It was as if the battle-hungry blood within him had awakened at this moment. He led the undead army, breaking through the demon's defenses. The demon army, which was searching for the military star map, was startled by Lin Moyu's arrival. They quickly stopped their search and rapidly assembled. The demons gathered at an astonishing speed, with millions of them forming a battle formation within minutes, charging towards Lin Moyu. They thought it was the human army arriving, but eventually realized it was just one human. Apart from that, there was an army of skeletons. In the face of 2 opposing armies, it was hard to distinguish right from wrong. Identity and situation no longer mattered. Even if there were questions, they would be asked after the battle. Over 100,000 demons formed a battle formation, emitting a pitch-black glow. The demons of the Abyss lineage ignited the abyssal fire on their bodies. Abyssal fire is the source fire of the Abyss lineage of demons, possessing many different characteristics. Sometimes, the abyssal fire is scorching, hotter than the flames of a star, with a temperature so high it's terrifying. It carries the laws of the abyss, burning everything, whether objects or life, to ashes. Other times, the abyssal fire is bone-chilling, comparable to the eternal ice of the Ice Clan, capable of freezing everything. The alternation of heat and cold creates terrifying damage, making it extremely difficult to resist. Lin Moyu's mind quickly flashed through the characteristics of the abyssal fire. The laws of the abyssal fire are among the most powerful in the fire laws, ranking in the top tier. Without the laws, no matter how high the temperature, Lin Moyu wouldn't care. But with the laws, especially top-tier laws, even Lin Moyu had to be cautious. The battle formation, carrying the abyssal fire, charged straight at him. Lin Moyu flapped his undead wings and instantly flew away. A giant blade appeared in the starry sky, covered with ferocious demons, each one terrifying. Flames enveloped the blade, turning into flowing blood. The demon battle blade is a common tactic used during demon battle formations. If it were the human army, they would naturally have corresponding methods to deal with it. The giant blade suddenly turned, continuing to chase Lin Moyu. The speed of the demon battle blade was very fast, not much slower than Lin Moyu. The sharp tactics of the army were not something ordinary cultivators could compare to. As soon as Lin Moyu revealed himself, the demon battle blade was already close.
Very fast!
Lin Moyu wanted to lock onto the demons in the battle formation, but the formation was shrouded in abyssal fire, making it impossible to lock onto individual targets. Since he couldn't lock onto individuals, he would target the whole formation. With a light shout, he swung his sharp sword. Spell: Godslaying. Lin Moyu swung the Godslaying sword with all his might. The true god-level treasure sword in his hand instantly turned to nothingness, unable to withstand the power of the God King realm. As Lin Moyu swung his sword, the Skeleton King in the distance also swung a god-slaying sword. 2 dazzling sword lights lit up simultaneously above the battle formation. The demon battle blade seemed to be severely damaged, trembling continuously, and its momentum slowed significantly. The abyssal fire was also suppressed by the sword light. The god-slaying sword struck the battle formation, and all the damage was collectively borne by the demons within the formation. All the demons inside felt uncomfortable, but none were fatally injured. The abyssal fire flickered a few times and then charged at Lin Moyu again. Lin Moyu frowned and continued to flap his undead wings to dodge. He could feel that the 2 god-slaying swords had caused some damage to the demons, but not much. With the demons' recovery ability, they would return to normal in no time. trying to break the battle formation with normal means was not easy. After all, it was a formation of 100,000 demons. If it could be easily broken, it would be unworthy of its name. Although Lin Moyu was somewhat disappointed with the result, he was not surprised. Lin Moyu's speed was very fast, and although the demon battle blade was also fast, it couldn't catch up. Suddenly, the demon battle blade stopped chasing Lin Moyu and instead charged into the undead army. Wherever the battle blade went, the skeleton generals and death dragon knights were defeated. As long as the abyssal fire touched them, it would instantly ignite their entire bodies, burning many skeletons to ashes in less than 2 seconds. Fortunately, with the Undying Undead passive spell, the skeletons burned to ashes were resurrected in an instant, returning to their original state. The skeleton generals swung their sword lights at the demon battle blade, but they were all swallowed by the abyssal fire, having no effect. The dragon breath of the death dragon knights was the same, having no effect. As for the charge of the death dragon knights, they didn't dare to use it. Before they could charge in, they were already burned to ashes. The demon battle blade, wrapped in abyssal fire, moved unimpeded, slaughtering the undead army without resistance. Lin Moyu frowned, realizing something. His undead army, though powerful, was not a cohesive unit. If the demons were scattered, without a battle formation, even if their numbers exceeded his undead army, he wouldn't be afraid. After all, the skeletons could be resurrected, and he could summon more if they were destroyed. But once facing a demon army in formation, the disadvantage became apparent.
It seems I need to find a way to solve this problem when I return.
Lin Moyu thought to himself, noticing more abyssal fire burning not far away. More demons had completed their assembly, forming battle formations. In the abyssal fire, the formations turned into demon battle blades, charging at him. Then a third, a fourth, a fifth. In the starry sky, 10 demon battle blades appeared in succession, each formed by 100,000 demons. These demon battle blades joined the battlefield one by one, starting to chase the undead army. Lin Moyu's consciousness trembled, issuing commands. The undead army followed Lin Moyu's orders, quickly assembling. 500,000 skeleton generals simultaneously swung their sword energy at a demon battle blade. The powerful sword energy engulfed the demon battle blade, almost extinguishing the abyssal fire. The demon battle blade trembled continuously, on the verge of collapse.
Effective!
Lin Moyu's idea was simple. If a demon battle blade was formed by 100,000 demons, he would use multiple times that number to attack. If 5 times wasn't enough, then 10 times, 20 times. He didn't believe he couldn't destroy the demon battle blade. His idea proved effective. With just 1 round of attacks, he almost destroyed a demon battle blade. If the demon battle blade was destroyed, none of the demons forming it would survive. At this moment, demon battle blades from both sides charged at the undead army, slashing out large swathes of abyssal fire. The undead army quickly dispersed, but another part of the undead army assembled. The undead army acted according to Lin Moyu's consciousness, moving faster and more efficiently than any other army. Another 500,000 undead assembled and simultaneously slashed out sword energy. The sword energy, carrying the destructive power of the undying law, extinguished the abyssal fire. On the other side, another part of the undead army slashed out sword energy. Only 50,000 death dragon knights simultaneously spewed dragon breath. The targeted demon battle blade finally collapsed, the abyssal fire exploding and igniting the starry sky. 1,240. Chapter 1240. No strongest, only the best troops. The battlefield token was so hot it seemed like it was about to burn. Lin Moyu had killed tens of thousands of demons, and the battlefield token was busy recording continuously. The demon battle blade swung again, and the abyssal fire raged in the starry sky. The undead army quickly dispersed and then quickly regrouped, once again targeting a demon battle blade. Bright sword energy swept across the starry sky, creating a dazzling light band in the pitch-black sky that even the black hole couldn't absorb. This time, more than 1,000,000 skeleton generals attacked simultaneously. Lin Moyu decided to take down the second demon battle blade in one strike, killing the tens of thousands of demons within it. A giant shield appeared in the starry sky, raising a light curtain that blocked the sword energy. The light curtain twisted and vibrated but did not shatter. The demon race, composed of the Hell lineage, formed a battle formation, transforming into a shield. The combination of the Abyss and Hell lineages, with sword and shield, was a combat method that troubled all races. One focused on attack, the other on defense. Unless one could overpower the other in strength, it was unsolvable. Streaks of light flew from the depths of the starry sky and then exploded. Shields appeared in the field of vision, with each battle blade accompanied by a shield. Lin Moyu frowned. This sword and shield combination was troublesome. With the shield's protection, the demon battle blades became even more reckless, starting to chase the undead. The abyssal fire raged, and the shields generated suction, greatly reducing the skeleton's speed. For a moment, many skeletons were burned to death by the abyssal fire. The skeleton's attacks were blocked by the shields, unable to cause effective damage.
Armies are indeed hard to deal with.
Lin Moyu muttered softly, watching the flickering firelight as the demon battle blade approached. While chasing the undead army, the demons did not spare Lin Moyu, the leader. The undead wings vibrated, carrying him swiftly backward. Lin Moyu's eyes showed no fear, remaining calm. As he retreated, he pointed a finger, and red light enveloped both the demon battle blade and the demon shield. Fusion spell. Time curse. The soul attack ignored the shield's defense, affecting all the demons within the battle formation. The demons screamed continuously, and the speed of the demon battle blade and shield slowed down. Their souls were cursed, adding various negative states, making the demons feel weak and powerless. Their speed also dropped significantly, and the damage they received was multiplied. A strange melody came from the starry sky, and a second bewitching demon appeared. It had been hiding all along, concealed within the battle formation. The bewitching demon excelled in soul spells, and its melody quickly soothed the demon's soul wounds. Although the negative curses remained, their impact was greatly reduced. Lin Moyu never intended to rely solely on curses to break the demon battle formation. He just wanted to buy some time. Times had changed. As his combat power increased, the enemies he faced grew stronger, and the power of the time curse began to fall short. Now, Lin Moyu mainly used it for support, not as a primary means of killing. With a wave of his hand, countless pieces of flesh appeared before him. Each piece of flesh belonged to a god king. The strongest piece came from a fifth-stage god king. These were the flesh pieces he had recently collected, serving as his weapons. Lin Moyu also had a trump card, the flesh of the Abyssal Dragon Demon's second avatar. After the Abyssal Dragon Demon's second avatar died, Lin Moyu collected its flesh. The second avatar of the Abyssal Dragon Demon was at the God Sovereign level. If used for corpse explosion, it could unleash an attack at the God Sovereign level. But this was Lin Moyu's trump card, not to be used lightly. Roaring sounds echoed, and violent explosions resounded through the starry sky. The flesh exploded, and with the dual enhancement of talent and original spells, each corpse explosion attack was equivalent to a full force strike from a 5th or even 6th stage God King. Combined with the damage boost from the time curse, the power increased even further. However, a single strike was not enough to break the demon battle formation. Lin Moyu's attacks continued relentlessly, and he had collected enough flesh to sustain the assault. The undead army coordinated with Lin Moyu's attacks. The demon shield twisted continuously but remained unbroken. The towering skeleton king, draped in a blood-red cloak, took a few steps to the shield and slashed with its sword. The sword light exploded on the shield, and Lin Moyu coordinated with the skeleton king, slashing simultaneously, with corpse explosion never ceasing. The shield's defense twisted even more severely, on the verge of collapse. At this moment, another sword and shield combination arrived, attempting to stop Lin Moyu. Strong laws emanated from the other demon shields, quickly stabilizing the originally precarious shield. Lin Moyu frowned, reluctant to use the abyssal dragon demon's flesh as a trump card. But the current situation left him somewhat helpless. He realized he lacked a decisive spell or treasure. If he were a god king with his soul strength, he could unleash a law domain, attacking with his soul while the undead army protected his body, allowing his soul to wreak havoc. But now...
Wait, the soul.
Lin Moyu suddenly thought of the skeleton soul archers. The skeleton soul archers' attacks targeted the soul. Because the skeleton generals were so effective, he had almost forgotten about the skeleton soul archers. Now, his realm was at the 6th stage of True God, and the skeleton soul archers' combat power had reached the 9th stage of True God. Although far from the God King realm, most of the demons here were at the 8th or 9th stage of True God. They formed a battle formation, with their defenses integrated, but their souls remained separate. The time curse had already proven this point. Combining souls was difficult, even for human twins whose souls would differ, let alone the very demons. Lin Moyu found a solution, a smile forming at the corner of his mouth. With a thought, the skeleton generals dispersed. The fusion spell was lifted, and each skeleton general split into 3, becoming skeleton warriors, skeleton soul archers, and skeleton mages. The number tripled instantly, with 3 million skeleton generals turning into 9 million skeletons. However, their aura significantly weakened. The skeleton generals had combat power close to a 3rd stage God King, while the skeleton warriors only had the power of a 9th stage True God. A vast difference. In the next second, 3 million skeleton soul archers simultaneously drew their bows and shot soul arrows. The soul arrows carried the death power of the undying law, enough to obliterate souls. The soul arrows ignored the demons' defenses, directly attacking their souls within the battle formation. Screams echoed as the demons clutched their heads, wailing in agony. Their souls suffered severe attacks, instantly taking heavy damage. The bewitching demons sang again, trying to soothe the soul wounds. Lin Moyu smiled lightly and pointed at the void. 1,000,000-meter undead I appeared in the starry sky, burning with gray-white flames, as if the undying world had descended. 1241, 1241. Chapter 1241. The supreme power far surpassing millions of armies. The eye of the undead rang the death knell for the demon battle formation. Under the gaze of the eye of the undead, the souls of a large number of demons burned into flames, turning to ashes in an instant. The demons' eyes lost their luster, dying silently. The attacks of the skeleton soul archers were as dense as a tsunami, continuous and unending. The eye of the undead swept across like a plow over and over again. In less than a minute, the True God realm demons were all dead, and the demon battle formation collapsed. Only some God King realm demons were left, bewildered and at a loss. In the great world, there are very few races that can perform soul attacks. The human race does have soul-targeting spells, but they cannot cause such large-scale damage. Some God King realm demons realized that things were getting troublesome. A monster like Lin Moyu had appeared among the humans. If Lin Moyu were allowed to grow, he would pose a great threat to the demon race. Some God King realm demons charged at Lin Moyu, their aura surging, intending to perish together with him. Others turned and fled, thinking they couldn't kill Lin Moyu and needed to take the news back. But they had no chance. As soon as they moved, sword light flashed on their bodies. The Skeleton King, who had been preparing, seized the opportunity and unleashed a god-slaying strike. Although the targets were many, the power of the god-slaying strike was dispersed, but with the Skeleton King's combat power under the enhancement of the strong soldier spell, all demons below the 3rd stage of God King were instantly killed. Even those above the 3rd stage of God King were severely injured. Only one 5th stage God King demon, filled with fear, turned into a stream of light and fled. But in the next second, sword light flashed on his body as well. Lin Moyu, filling in the gaps, also unleashed a god-slaying strike, directly slicing him into pieces. The demon battle formation launched a frenzied counterattack, but the skeleton god warriors and the laws of the gods rushed up, delaying as much time as possible. The skeleton soul archers scattered in the starry sky, launching fierce attacks. The skeleton king stood by, waiting for the battle formation to collapse, ready to unleash another god-slaying strike. Lin Moyu continuously cast Corpse Explosion, accelerating the collapse of the battle formation. The demon battle formation was very strong, one of the strongest Lin Moyu had encountered. But such a strong formation had a glaring weakness. Its soul defense was too weak. As long as the opponent had powerful soul attack capabilities, the demon battle formation would appear extremely fragile. Lin Moyu thought of the Starry Sky Spirit Clan, who excelled in soul laws and had corresponding spells. If the demon battle formation faced the Starry Sky Spirit Clan, it would likely be wiped out by a single spell. Comparing silently in his heart, Lin Moyu found no comparison. When the strength gap reaches a certain level, numbers become meaningless. Back when the human race was on the brink of collapse, over 200 races united, almost completely destroying the human race. But the human race produced Xiao Zhantian, who single-handedly turned the tide. That level of cultivation and strength was beyond Lin Moyu's imagination. Therefore, all the rules and methods established by the human race are to cultivate true powerhouses. A top-tier powerhouse far surpasses millions of armies. The demon battle formations collapsed one by one under the combined attacks of the skeleton soul archers and the Eye of the Undead. Lin Moyu and the Skeleton King finished off the stragglers, leaving no survivors. In less than 10 minutes, more than half of the battle formations were dead or injured. The remaining 6 battle formations suddenly abandoned the fight with Lin Moyu and fled towards the black hole. There were still many demons there. Lin Moyu knew the demons wouldn't give up. This time, the demons of the 7th War Zone had come out in full force, with at least over 5 million demons. So far, he had only killed about 1/5 of them. This was just the appetizer. The main course was yet to come. Demon warships fled through the starry sky, heading towards the central black hole. Due to the demon battle formations, over 2,000 demon warships managed to escape. Lin Moyu led the undead army, carrying all the flesh and blood left from the previous battle, in pursuit. A slight swelling sensation came from his soul. After continuous slaughter, the original spell had absorbed a large amount of soul power. Some of this soul power, after being refined by the talent tree and the 9-colored dragon soul crystal, turned into pure soul power. If he absorbed and refined this soul power, it would be enough to advance to the 7th stage of True God. But now, Lin Moyu had no time to absorb and refine it. The swelling sensation in his soul was caused by another part of the soul power, which had turned into the power to maintain the original spell, allowing Lin Moyu to stay in the 7th stage of God King for a long time. Because he had absorbed so much, Lin Moyu could now maintain the 7th stage of God King for at least 10 minutes. If he continued to kill, the duration could be extended. But the swelling sensation in his soul reminded Lin Moyu not to absorb more soul power. If he continued, it might backfire, and his soul could explode from the excessive power. Moreover, the previously absorbed power would dissipate. If that happened, it would be a huge loss. Lin Moyu realized that the original spell also had its limits and couldn't grow indefinitely. Chasing the fleeing demons, the star quickly expanded in his vision. Lin Moyu had already passed 3 planets, entering the range covered by the star. The center of this area was the black hole, surrounded by a layer of stars, with planets on the outermost layer. The scale of the stars was much larger than the planets. Even 3 planets combined couldn't compare to 1 star. Therefore, the demon army was divided into 3 parts. The outermost part guarded outside the planets, with a few demons and warships forming the first line of defense. When the first line of defense was breached, the demons on the 3 planets would mobilize to form the second line of defense. If the human army came, these 2 lines of defense wouldn't hold. The demons knew this, but the 2 lines of defense were enough to buy time for the demons at the star. This time, the goal wasn't to fight the human race but to find the military star map. As long as they found the military star map, they would be the victors. Even if all the demons died here, as long as someone could take the military star map back, it would be an unimaginable victory. They didn't expect the first line of defense to be breached almost instantly. The second line of defense also only lasted a few minutes, much less than expected. Near the star, a special demon warship was docked. The surface of the warship was engraved with heart patterns. There were human hearts, black snake hearts, golden eagle hearts. Almost every race's heart pattern could be found here. This was the warship of August, the heart-eating demon. He loved eating hearts from various races. After eating a heart, he would engrave its pattern on his warship as a trophy. August was the commander of the demons in this operation. The heart-eating demon's head was large at the top and small at the bottom, forming an inverted triangle. His body didn't look strong, standing only 3 meters tall, just slightly taller than humans. Among the demons, he was considered very thin and small. But the heart-eating demon was one of the demon royalty, known as the demon strategist. Demons generally weren't very intelligent, often irritable and angry. But the heart-eating demons were one of the few highly intelligent branches among the demons. Many demon leaders and officers were members of the heart-eating demon clan. Receiving the battle report from the front, August's face turned ashen, becoming extremely grim. 1242. Chapter 1242. This is the advantage of numbers. The demon defenses in Area 7 to 77 were all personally arranged by him, and even the harassment plans outside the defenses were custom-made by him. He anticipated the possible actions of the human race, including the potential for a destructive strike on Area 7 to 77. In response, he also formulated strategies and brought a special treasure. As long as he could find the military star map, he was confident he could bring it back. Even if the human race used destructive means, it would be useless. He was confident that victory belonged to the demons. But now, it seemed that there were some problems with the plan.
Still haven't found the military star map?
August's tone was low and very displeased. August actually knew he shouldn't ask this question. If the military star map had been found, it would have been in his hands by now. Since it hadn't returned, it meant it hadn't been found. When he asked this question, it showed that he was a bit flustered. Since receiving the battle report, an uneasy feeling had been lingering in his heart. Especially upon learning that only one human had come, that feeling became extremely strong. The heart-eating demon belongs to the hell lineage of demons, and they are skilled in a peculiar law, the law of the mind. The law of the mind has a magical function, giving some premonitions about future events. The premonition is very vague, without clear images or specific details. It only tells you whether the future event is good or bad. Even so, it is enough. August shook his large square head, trying to shake off that uneasy feeling. After all, a premonition is just a premonition and not necessarily accurate. Historically, there have been many inaccurate premonitions.
One person broke the warship's barrier in seconds. It only took 5 minutes to break through the second line of defense, and the demon battle formation was cracked by him using soul attacks. He has a massive skeleton army, with the weakest at the 9th stage of True God and the strongest being a skeleton over 10,000 meters tall with the combat power of a 6th-stage God King. His own combat power seems to have reached the level of a 7th-stage God King. According to the rules of Area 7 to 77, this means he has the ability to fight above his level. Are these skeletons puppets? Puppets with soul attack capabilities. The human race can't possibly have such powerful puppets. I guess he obtained some ancient relic. In ancient times, there were indeed powerful skeleton puppets. His soul attack power is at the true god level. Besides that, the skeletons don't have the ability to form battle formations. In other words, although they are numerous, they are actually a scattered force. As long as his soul attack ability can be restricted, they are not to be feared. 7th stage God King combat power. We also have that.
August kept thinking and quickly formulated a strategy against Lin Moyu. At the same time, orders were passed down, and the demons immediately took action. August stood on the bridge of his warship, his gaze fixed on the pitch-black starry sky.
Originally, I thought the warship barrier could hold for half an hour, and a second line of defense could hold for 3 hours. Now, the plan is disrupted. It's really a headache. Who is this guy? When did the human race produce such a person? Could he be a genius from the Divine City? There are indeed many geniuses from the Divine City training on the battlefield, but none seem to be like this.
August couldn't figure it out, and his big head started to hurt. In his sight, several demon battle formations were approaching at an astonishing speed. The starlight shone on the battle formations, reflecting brilliance. August's eyes flashed with disdain and killing intent. These people were deserters. In his opinion, even if they were to die, they should die there, at least delaying for a few more minutes. As for bringing Lin Moyu here, then he saw Lin Moyu and the vast undead army following closely behind the battle formations. Lin Moyu flapped his undead wings, looking unhurried. August sneered.
Since you're here, let's have some fun.
Under his previous orders, the demons had already assembled. The number was not large, only 40,000 demons, forming 4 battle formations. Each battle formation had only 10,000 demons. Although the number was small, the momentum was even more astonishing. The demons forming the battle formations were all at the God King level. Compared to the battle formations of 100,000 true God level demons, they were only stronger, not weaker. Moreover, Lin Moyu's soul attacks posed no threat to them. After the previous analysis, August already had a way to deal with Lin Moyu. When August's gaze locked onto him, Lin Moyu also noticed his presence. Both felt a chill in their hearts. At this time, the two were at least 500,000 kilometers apart. Even with the eyesight of cultivators, they could only see a tiny dot. But both felt each other's gaze. August's unease surged again but was quickly suppressed. Lin Moyu felt the same, sensing that this guy would cause him some trouble. The demons must have already sent the message back. Since the other party was waiting for him here, they must have a way to deal with him. Although demons are not smart, with enough numbers, there will always be some smart ones. At this point, Lin Moyu had no retreat. He was on the passive side and could only move forward. The distance between the two kept shrinking. When only 200,000 kilometers remained, they finally saw each other clearly. Lin Moyu saw August.
Heart-eating demon!
Lin Moyu recognized his identity at a glance. No need to know the specific name, just knowing the identity was enough. After all, there would be no interaction between the two. Meeting meant one thing: kill, no rest until death. The heart-eating demon is known as the demon strategist, and Lin Moyu naturally knew this. So it was not surprising to see August here. August looked at Lin Moyu from afar and waved his hand gently. Under the starlight, a brighter flame suddenly lit up. The abyssal fire burned fiercely, and a battle formation in the shape of a battle blade suddenly appeared. In front of the blade-shaped battle formation, there was also a shield-shaped battle formation. The combination of blade and shield greatly enhanced their power. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. This time, the number of demons forming the battle formations was significantly reduced. Each battle formation had only 10,000 demons, 10 times fewer, but the power was even greater. Every demon in the battle formation was at the God King level, meaning his soul attacks would be ineffective. Although they could still cause some impact, destroying the battle formation would be much more difficult. A battle formation of 10,000 God King level demons posed a far greater threat than before. The battle formation activated, charging towards Lin Moyu. Facing the God King level battle formation, the true God level skeletons were useless, and it was only a matter of time before they were all killed. August knew this and wanted to see how Lin Moyu would respond. He seemed confident of victory, muttering to himself,
"Sometimes numbers are not decisive."
He stopped mid-sentence. In his sight, the skeletons suddenly combined. Their numbers sharply reduced by 3 times, from a 1,000,000-strong army to a 100,000-strong army. 300,000 skeleton generals, 50,000 Death Dragon Knights, and 1,000,000 Lich generals. Then all the Death Dragon Knights and 2/3 of the skeleton generals ignored the approaching demon battle formations and split into 2 groups, heading straight for the 2 stars. August's face turned very ugly. This was the only flaw in his plan, and Lin Moyu saw through it at a glance. Lin Moyu's actions told him the advantage of numbers. 1243 1243. Chapter 1243. First kill Lin Moyu. The undead army held both numerical and qualitative advantages. If dispersed, the undead army's numbers exceeded 10 million, more than double that of the demon army. If using fusion spells to combine all the skeletons, they could form tens of thousands of Lich generals. In terms of numbers, they still surpassed the demon army, and in terms of quality, they completely crushed them. The skeleton generals had combat power infinitely close to the third stage of God King. The Death Dragon Knights were equivalent to the second stage of God King, and the Death Knights barely stepped into the God King realm. The Lich generals had weaker combat power, but they were not meant for direct combat. This combat power was enough to crush the demon army. The only drawback was the lack of battle formations. The battle formations in the demon army significantly enhanced their combat power, giving them a chance to compete with the undead army. Lin Moyu had to admit that the demon army's battle formations were very strong, especially the battle formations purely composed of God Kings, which he couldn't think of a good way to deal with without using his trump cards. But it didn't matter, as there were only 2 such battle formations. Lin Moyu used 1 million skeleton generals to hold them off, while the remaining 2 million skeleton generals, along with 50,000 Death Dragon Knights and 50,000 Death Knights, directly attacked the star. His goal was the military star map 433, not to fight the demons to the death. The demons searching for the military star map in the star were mostly at the 8th or 9th stage of True God, and they would be powerless against the undead army. If they formed battle formations, the skeleton soul archers would show them the terror of soul attacks. August's eyes were filled with danger and anger. The uneasy premonition he had just suppressed surged uncontrollably. He stared intently at Lin Moyu and quickly issued new orders. On his warship, a bewitching demon appeared. The warship shone brightly, like a small star. A vast energy emanated from the warship, forming a barrier that enveloped the bewitching demon. The bewitching demon stood within the barrier, letting out a deafening high-pitched scream. After the scream, a rousing melody followed. The barrier acted as an amplifier, magnifying the melody several times, echoing through the starry sky. The terrifying melody of the demons reverberated in the starry sky, and the bewitching demon's voice joined the performance. 2 other bewitching demons played strange notes on their instruments, creating a grand and majestic symphony. The demons' momentum surged with the music, and their power increased. The demons at the 9th stage of True God were elevated to the God King realm. The temporarily elevated demons formed battle formations on the spot. Groups of 10,000 appeared in the starry sky, forming numerous battle formations. The battle formations turned into swords and shields, with the swords emitting green abyssal flames, like blood, scattering in the starry sky. The shields closely guarded the swords, providing protection. From a distance, it looked like countless invisible warriors stood in the starry sky, wielding swords and shields, slashing at the undead army. Flames shot out, and the abyssal fire swept through the starry sky, burning many skeleton generals to death,
forcibly elevating their realm. The bewitching demon has such an ability. This is troublesome.
Lin Moyu glanced around and saw 3 bewitching demons in the starry sky. The leader was the one standing on the warship within the barrier. This bewitching demon had a powerful aura, likely at the 5th stage of God King, making it difficult to kill. Lin Moyu believed that since it dared to come out, it must not fear attacks. The barrier around it not only amplified the music but also provided protection. The skeleton generals dispersed, unable to deal with the battle formations, so they focused on killing the scattered demons. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry. He just needed to delay until the human army arrived, and everything would be resolved. Delaying was not difficult for him. The skeleton generals seemed to be killed, but they would silently revive in the next second. As long as he controlled the timing and sequence of their deaths, he could delay indefinitely. The undead could revive 5 times in 150 seconds. So as long as the average interval between deaths didn't exceed 30 seconds, he could keep delaying. In this situation, the demons couldn't search for the military star map, achieving his goal. The sword energy of the skeleton generals fell densely, all blocked by the demon shields. The demon shields had astonishing defense, and unless all the skeleton generals' power was concentrated in a full-force attack, it was hard to break them. But Lin Moyu never intended to break the shields. He just wanted to delay time. In that minute, at least tens of thousands of skeleton generals were killed. But the number of skeleton generals didn't decrease at all. Realizing something was wrong, he observed carefully and finally saw the clue. Wherever the battle blade passed, everything turned to ashes, including the skeleton generals. But as the battle blade moved away, new skeleton generals were reborn from the ashes.
They can revive. What kind of puppets are these?
August was greatly shocked and understood Lin Moyu's intention. Lin Moyu was just delaying time, and time was precious for both sides. Once the human army arrived, all previous efforts would be in vain. August made a quick decision and ordered,
Ignore the skeletons, kill the human.
He didn't know Lin Moyu's name, but there was only one human here, so it had to be him. The demons received the order and immediately ignored the skeleton generals, charging at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled. After 2 minutes of rest, the swelling sensation in his soul had slightly subsided. Now that the demon battle formations were coming at him, Lin Moyu didn't want to engage them directly. With the combat power of a 7-stage God King, he couldn't handle these demon battle formations. The demon battle formations were one of the demon race's trump cards in the great world. 10,000 God King demons, many of them at the 3rd stage of God King. With their combined power, even Lin Moyu, with the combat power of a 7-stage God King, would be unwise to confront them head-on. Unless he pushed his power higher to the 8th or even 9th stage of God King, he might have a chance against the demon battle formations. But doing so would cause his soul to collapse in a short time. The undead wings vibrated, and Lin Moyu turned into a meteor, avoiding the demon battle blade and flying towards the black hole. The demon battle blade also turned frantically, continuing to chase Lin Moyu.
You can't escape.
August's warship also quickly changed direction, pursuing him. In this situation, without eliminating the undead army, it was impossible to search for the military star map. But to eliminate the undead army, they had to kill Lin Moyu, the controller. Lin Moyu's speed was very fast, driven by the power of a 7-stage God King, greatly enhancing the speed of the undead wings. The effect of the light speed law halo was already evident, and Lin Moyu's speed exceeded 30,000 kilometers per second. The demon battle blade kept chasing, and in the blink of an eye, Lin Moyu had crossed 2 stars and was approaching the black hole. Suddenly, a roar came from the black hole. 1244, 1244. Chapter 1244. The legendary terrifying giant beast. A roar filled with anger echoed through everyone's soul world. Outside Lin Moyu's soul world, a black hole snake suddenly appeared, roaring furiously at his soul. The entire soul world trembled violently, and the crystal barrier buzzed. The roar penetrated the crystal barrier, transforming into an invisible sound wave that bombarded the soul. Lin Moyu's soul emitted a purple light, and his soul robe also shone brilliantly. With the peak quality of a 4th-grade soul, combined with the enhancement of soul essence, his soul's defense was greatly strengthened, along with the protective effects of the soul robe. Lin Moyu completely blocked this wave of soul attacks without any damage. This soul attack was very strong, enough to harm a God King realm soul. Moreover, this was an indiscriminate attack, affecting everyone. The undead army almost collapsed collectively. Although the skeletons were powerful, their true level was limited by Lin Moyu and still at the true God realm. Their souls were not strong, and this attack was also fatal to them. Fortunately, the undying undead existed, and in the next second all the skeletons revived again. One attack caused the undead army to collapse collectively. Lin Moyu knew that the demon army must have suffered even more. He turned his head and saw that it was indeed the case. The The demon battle formations chasing him stood stiffly in the starry sky. The battle formations completely collapsed under the roar, and the demons within were almost all dead or severely injured, falling into a coma, half dead. The best way to deal with demon battle formations was a strong soul attack. This soul attack killed at least 1 million demons. More demons were severely injured. Even the God King realm demons were significantly harmed, and the battle formations collapsed, unable to continue chasing Lin Moyu. The bewitching demon's melody abruptly stopped, and in the next second, it switched to a gentle tune, soothing the demon army's wounds. August's expression changed dramatically, and what happened before his eyes completely exceeded his expectations. The unease in his heart rose to the extreme, far surpassing the unease Lin Moyu had brought him.
Run!
In the next second, a scream came from afar. August recognized the voice's owner. It was one of the demons he had sent to the black hole to search for the military star map. Among the team dispatched this time, there were 10 demons who had reached the 6th stage of God King, the strongest in the army. After arriving here, he sent 10 of them to the black hole to search. He wrenching likely hid the military star map in the black hole. Entering the black hole was dangerous even for a 6th stage God King. But there was no choice. They had to go. In the voice, 3 demons flew out of the black hole, heading towards August's warship, ignoring Lin Moyu along the way. They looked panicked, as if they had seen something terrifying. Lin Moyu's expression changed slightly. Although he didn't know what had happened, the previous soul attack and the current expressions of the 3 demons made it easy to deduce that something had indeed gone wrong. Without thinking, Lin Moyu flapped his undead wings and flew far away. At this moment, another roar sounded, and the second wave of soul attacks arrived. The 3 6th-stage God King demons screamed in pain, flying even faster, not daring to look back. Lin Moyu's soul was impacted again, and the undead army collapsed collectively once more, then revived under the effect of spells.
The demon army is finished.
Lin Moyu thought to himself. With just a few seconds between the 2 soul attacks, it was enough to completely wipe out the demon army. Except for some God Kings, there would be no survivors. Looking around, it was indeed the case. The starry sky was filled with corpses, with only a few God King realm demons still alive, but they were not in good shape. Even some God King realm demons with weak souls had already died. Their souls collapsed and they died miserably. On August's warship, the barrier flickered, barely blocking the soul attack. As a heart-eating demon, August's soul was inherently strong, and with his 4th-stage God King cultivation, the impact on him was not significant. But he was drenched in sweat, thinking of a legend. The legend said that in the center of the black hole in Area 7 to 77, a terrifying starry sky giant beast was sleeping. It was the ancestor of all black hole snakes, rarely waking from its long slumber. Once awakened, it would destroy all living beings in the entire area. This was just a legend, never confirmed, because those who had seen it were all dead. Now August could responsibly say that the legend was true, that such a terrifying giant beast really existed. He hadn't even seen its face, and just 2 roars had already killed most of the demon army. Moreover, the 3 6th-stage God King demons who flew back were extremely terrified. 10 had gone, but only 3 returned. The fate of the other 7 was obvious. The 3 6th-stage God King demons flew back to August's warship as fast as they could, shouting urgently,
Run, run! Hurry, if we don't run now, it will be too late. Don't just stand there, run! It's coming after us.
The 3 shouted urgently, not caring about anyone else's feelings. Even Lin Moyu, tens of thousands of kilometers away, heard them clearly. August realized the seriousness of the situation and immediately started the warship, turning to fly away. Lin Moyu's expression also changed slightly. He thought of the approaching human army. The demon army's experience was still fresh in his mind. If the human army arrived, they wouldn't fare much better. Soul attacks are always the hardest to defend against. For most races, souls are extremely fragile before reaching the God-sovereign realm. Even his soul was impacted, If it were someone else, the result would be predictable. Lin Moyu's mind raced, and a large number of skeletons quickly flew away. He also took out the War King Tower and held the jade token given by Zhu Qiwu, ready to escape if there was any danger. August's warship was very fast, even faster than the War King Tower, with a speed exceeding 150,000 kilometers per second. But after flying for a few seconds, less than 1,000,000 kilometers, it suddenly stopped in the starry sky. The warship struggled, trembling continuously, but it seemed to be caught by an invisible force in the starry sky, making it difficult to move. The warship shook more and more violently, emitting a buzzing sound. On the warship, the bewitching demon's barrier twisted and deformed. The bewitching demon was so frightened that it immediately retreated into the ship. The barrier shattered with a bang, and the warship creaked. Lin Moyu watched as the warship twisted like a pretzel under the invisible force, eventually exploding into a ball of fire. Several figures flew out of the warship, including the 3 six-stage God King demons and August. The warship, along with the bewitching demon, was destroyed in the explosion. In the firelight, Lin Moyu finally saw who had made the move. A large amount of firelight was absorbed, revealing a faint outline. It was an enormous black hole snake. The snake devoured all the light, making it invisible. Its body was over 100,000 kilometers long, the largest starry sky giant beast Lin Moyu had ever seen. His body was so thick that Lin Moyu couldn't even estimate its size. If it coiled up, it would be larger than an ordinary star. It seemed to have tentacles growing from its body. These tentacles had crushed August's warship into pieces. The black hole snake's eyes looked at August and the others, its giant mouth opening, and a black tongue flicking out, roaring again. 1245 1245. Chapter 1245. The black hole snake that accepts all. The soul attack was overwhelming. Lin Moyu was close to the soul attack, while the 3 six-stage God King demons were millions of kilometers away, and the difference was not just a little bit. The 3 six-stage God King demons screamed in agony, experiencing unimaginable pain. Even August felt an unimaginable pain. His skin, which was usually iron blue, turned pale. After the black hole snake roared, it did not stop. It opened its huge mouth, and a massive suction force emerged. The black hole snake's huge mouth was like a real black hole, directly sucking in August and the other 3. Despair appeared on the demons' faces. At this moment, resistance became futile. At the critical moment of life and death, August took out a small knife. He forcefully stabbed the knife into his own body, pushing it in so hard that the entire blade was embedded. The wound exploded, and black blood spurted out, soaking the knife. A gem on the knife's handle suddenly lit up, and a green flame enveloped August. Then the flame disappeared, taking August with it.
He escaped.
Lin Moyu saw all this and realized that August had escaped. He could no longer sense August's presence, indicating that August was already very far away, possibly even out of Area 7 to 77. Lin Moyu suddenly felt a chill. He realized that if August found the military star map, the human race's backup plan would be useless. Before Area 7 to 77 was destroyed, August could completely leave and take the military star map back. Lin Moyu was not surprised that the demons had such a treasure. The black hole snake swallowed the 3 six-stage God King demons in one bite, and its huge eyes showed a trace of bloodthirst. Then the black hole snake turned around in the firelight, its massive body sweeping through the burning warship, sending it flying like garbage. The black hole snake came to the starry sky filled with demon corpses. Most of the demons here were dead, with only a few God Kings still alive. But these God Kings, having endured 3 soul attacks, had lost their will to resist. The black hole snake was not polite. Whether dead or alive, it accepted all. It opened its mouth wide enough to swallow stars, and the suction force emerged. Whether alive or dead, all were sucked into its mouth. Lin Moyu watched, his eyelids twitching, and a thought arose in his mind.
My storage treasures.
Millions of corpses, millions of storage treasures, how much stuff must be inside them? Even if they weren't valuable, they could be exchanged for a large number of points. But now they were all gone. As he pondered, Lin Moyu activated the War King Tower and flew away without looking back. He didn't want to fight such a terrifying creature. It was too scary. Lin Moyu felt that even if this creature wasn't a god sovereign, it was infinitely close to one. It wasn't that he couldn't fight it, but that fighting it was meaningless. His goal wasn't to kill the starry sky giant beast but to find the military star map. Now that the demon army was dead, he had plenty of time to search once it left. As he thought, Lin Moyu looked back. In the blink of an eye, the War King Tower had flown millions of kilometers. It had just reached the second line of defense set up by the demons. There were still many demon corpses floating here. As the War King Tower passed through this area, Lin Moyu suddenly noticed that the corpses were disappearing. To be precise, the corpses were flying towards a certain place at an astonishing speed.
The black hole snake.
Lin Moyu was shocked to find that the black hole snake was still there. It had the characteristics of a black hole, swallowing all the light, making it invisible to the naked eye. Lin Moyu immediately connected to the skeletons and entered the undead vision. In the undead vision, he saw a soul flame as bright as a star. The stronger the soul, the stronger the creature. The soul flame before him was the strongest Lin Moyu had ever seen. The black hole snake was indeed still there, tens of thousands of kilometers away. It stayed in place, swallowing the corpses in the starry sky. A few seconds later, it finished swallowing the corpses and moved again. Lin Moyu was alarmed. The black hole snake was too fast, far surpassing the War King Tower, and it caught up in an instant.
It seems a battle is inevitable.
Lin Moyu sighed inwardly. He had trump cards, and although he didn't know if he could kill the black hole snake, he wasn't afraid. The black hole snake approached the War King Tower, and just as Lin Moyu was about to act, it stopped again. This was the first line of defense set up by the demons. After Lin Moyu broke through, the area was filled with warship debris and many demon corpses. The black hole snake began to swallow the demon corpses and warship debris. Lin Moyu found it strange. It didn't seem to want to fight him. It followed him, seemingly just because they were on the same path. It made sense. To the black hole snake, he was as insignificant as a speck of dust. In terms of size and strength, he was nothing. He hadn't offended it, so there was no need for it to fight him. Lin Moyu guessed that the demons must have disturbed its sleep. Lin Moyu quietly changed direction and flew in another direction. After flying 50,000 kilometers, he stopped and used the undead vision to watch the black hole snake. The black hole snake continued to accept all, swallowing demon corpses and warship debris alike. In total, it swallowed thousands of warships and over 4 million demons. What a huge appetite it must have. After swallowing all the demons and warships, the starry sky became empty. Lin Moyu kept watching, ready to act if the black hole snake continued to chase him. If it flew in another direction, he would stay put. But the black hole snake seemed to be full and stopped in the starry sky, motionless. Its pitch-black body swallowed all the light, making it invisible even up close. Even soul sensing was useless, as it would be silently swallowed, making it undetectable. Only the undead vision could see it. In the undead vision, the black hole snake slowly coiled its body, turning into a ball. Its body was so large that it looked like a non-luminous star. If someone crashed into it, they would be shattered.
Is it full? What's it doing coiling up here?
Lin Moyu wondered, then suddenly frowned. The skeleton generals he had sent out encountered the human army. Thousands of human warships formed a spearhead formation, rapidly advancing through the starry sky. Lin Moyu immediately flew the War King Tower over and ordered the skeleton generals to intercept the human warships. Hua Yuhang, a third-rank captain and the leader of the 1st Battalion of the 7th Fortress Legion, had reached the 6th stage of God King. This time, the human army was under his command, heading to the center of Area 7 to 77 to find the military star map. According to his information, the demon army had set out earlier. Moreover, they had been harassed by the demon army along the way, delaying them a bit. By his calculations, they were already 40 minutes behind the demon army. 40 minutes was enough time to accomplish many things on the battlefield, and Hua Yuhang was anxious.
Captain, there's a situation ahead.
1246. Chapter 1246. Senior, your information is incomplete. The scout at the front of the team suddenly reported that someone was blocking their path. Hua Yuhang thought it was demons again and immediately asked,
How many demons are there? Send a small team to eliminate them. The main force should continue advancing without stopping. Captain, it's not demons.
A screen appeared in front of Hua Yuhang, showing a group of skeletons holding swords and shields, blocking the way. Each one emitted a strong aura, none of them weak.
Puppets?
Hua Yuhang was slightly taken aback, but the situation was urgent, and he needed to act quickly. He couldn't afford to delay here. After weighing the options, he decided to ignore the skeletons and continue advancing. Seeing that they had no intention of stopping, Lin Moyu, who was still millions of kilometers away, frowned. Their flight path, although not directly colliding with the black hole snake, might still disturb it, leading to their deaths. The tragic state of the demon army was still fresh in his mind. Lin Moyu issued an order, and the 100 skeleton generals immediately raised their swords and slashed. Hundreds of sword energies tore through the starry sky. Alarms blared on the human warships, and the ships lit up brightly. The formations activated, raising defenses. The sword energies struck the formations, causing them to twist and deform. The skeleton generals, with attack power infinitely close to the third stage of God King, had sword energies that were equally powerful. The composition of the human army was very similar to that of the demons, with God Kings as captains and 8th or 9th stage true gods as soldiers. The difference was in the numbers. Each human warship had tens of thousands of people, while the demon warships had only 1,000. The sudden attack by the skeleton generals, with power reaching the God King realm, forced the entire team to stop. 100 skeleton generals represented 100 God King realm powerhouses, which was no small number. Although the human army was not afraid, they needed to be cautious to avoid unnecessary losses. Seeing the warship stop, the skeletons did not attack further. Hua Yuhang frowned. These skeletons didn't seem to want to fight but just to stop them from advancing. At this moment, more light points appeared in the distance, and more skeleton generals arrived. Lin Moyu had previously scattered thousands of skeleton generals because he didn't know from which direction the human army would come. Now that he had found the human team, the skeleton generals quickly began to gather. Seeing more and more skeleton generals, Hua Yuhang became increasingly vigilant. The defensive formations on the warships continued to operate, and the army left the ships, forming battle formations, ready to fight at any moment. However, the skeleton generals remained motionless, and Hua Yuhang did not initiate an attack. There were now nearly 1,000 skeleton generals. Even if they could win, there would be losses. He couldn't leave part of the team to fight, as that would increase the losses many times over. Hua Yuhang tried to communicate with the skeleton generals, but it was futile.
These skeletons seem to be puppets, and they don't seem to have any malice, just not wanting us to advance. Why is that? Who is their master?
As long as they were puppets, there must be a controller behind them. Hua Yuhang thought of something. Before setting out, the Legion commander had told him that someone had been sent in to try to stop the demons and buy him some time. At that time, Hua Yuhang didn't take it seriously. The demons had dispatched at least millions of troops. What use was sending one person? Even if the person sent was a 6th-stage God King, it wouldn't matter. Even a genius with the combat power of a 7th or 8th-stage God King wouldn't be enough. He himself was a 6th-stage God King and commanded the army, so he understood the disparity. Facing an army formation, unless a god sovereign intervened, it wouldn't be enough. Now, thinking back, the Legion commander didn't seem to be joking.
Could it be that these puppets belong to that person?
At this moment, he saw a golden light approaching from the distance, stopping in front of him within seconds. Seeing the War King Tower, Hua Yuhang breathed a sigh of relief. He recognized it at a glance. It was a human treasure. Lin Moyu also breathed a sigh of relief, finally catching up. The area where the black hole snake was coiled was less than 2 million kilometers away. At the speed of the human army, it would take only half a minute to reach it. Hua Yuhang left the warship. He sensed a threat from Lin Moyu, indicating that Lin Moyu was very powerful. Such a person required his personal attention. Hua Yuhang saluted.
Hua Yuhang, captain of the 1st Battalion of the 7th Fortress Legion, 3rd rank captain.
Lin Moyu also saluted.
Lin Moyu, honorary 2nd rank officer.
Hua Yuhang was deeply respectful. A 2nd rank officer was nothing special, but an honorary 2nd rank officer was entirely different. The honorary title was not given to just anyone. He knew Lin Moyu's identity. For nearly 100 years, the military in the Vermilion Bird battlefield had not awarded an honorary title. Only recently had the title been given to one person. Those who received the honorary title were all geniuses, and now it seemed true. Hua Yuhang asked,
Brother Lin, have you already entered the central area?
Lin Moyu nodded.
The demons in the central area are all dead, and their commander has escaped. What?
Hua Yuhang was stunned, looking at the skeleton generals and then at Lin Moyu, in disbelief. In his understanding, the demon army couldn't be dealt with by just a few hundred skeletons. Lin Moyu didn't answer but asked,
Captain Hua, can you contact the outside?
Hua Yuhang nodded.
The Human Emperor Network temporarily covers this area. We can communicate with the outside world, but only by voice, not by video. Please contact Zhu Jinsho for me.
Lin Moyu requested directly. Hua Yuhang didn't hesitate upon hearing Zhu Jinsho's name.
Please follow me.
He had heard from the Legion commander that Lin Moyu was personally sent by Zhu Jinsho. If Lin Moyu wanted to contact Zhu Jinsho, he wouldn't dare refuse. Hua Yuhang's warship was the flagship of the fleet, larger than the other warships with different arrangements inside. Hua Yuhang led Lin Moyu into the warship and activated a formation at the command platform. The formation glowed softly, and a dignified, elderly voice came through.
Yuhang, have you arrived? What's the situation?
Hua Yuhang immediately replied,
Legion Commander, I met Lin Moyu. He wants to contact Jinsho. All right.
The other side agreed without hesitation. A few seconds later, the formation glowed again, and Zhu Qiwu's voice came through.
Brat, how's it going over there?
Lin Moyu replied softly.
The demons are all dead, and they didn't get the military star map.
Zhu Qiwu sounded slightly surprised.
Did you kill them?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
Not all of them. I killed some, about 1/5. The rest weren't killed by me.
Zhu Qiwu snorted.
Stop beating around the bush, just say it.
Lin Moyu didn't comply but said,
Senior, your information was incomplete. I was almost killed because of you.
Zhu Qiwu retorted.
You can talk nonsense about food, but not about this. That information is the most comprehensive on the battlefield. Then explain the giant snake in the black hole.
1247, 1247. Chapter 1247. In the end, it still has to be me. Hua Yuhang was already dumbfounded by what he heard. Lin Moyu said he had killed 1/5 of the demons. According to what he knew, the demons had dispatched at least 5 million troops this time. 1/5 would be 1 million. Could Lin Moyu have single-handedly killed 1 million demon soldiers? The demon battle formations were not just for show. The combination of sword and shield formations, along with the deadly abyssal fire, was a headache even for an army. How did Lin Moyu manage to do it relying on just a few hundred skeleton puppets? At this moment, Zhu Qiwu's deep voice came from the formation.
What did you say? Say it again.
His voice trembled slightly, and there was a noticeable heavy breathing sound beside him, which was the Legion commander's voice. Clearly, the black hole snake Lin Moyu mentioned was extraordinary. Black hole snakes were common. Anyone who frequented Area 7 to 77 would encounter them. Either kill them or be killed, It was a common occurrence. But the black hole snake Lin Moyu mentioned seemed different. Lin Moyu repeated,
I said there is a black hole snake 100,000 kilometers long in the central black hole, which is not in your data.
A black hole snake 100,000 kilometers long. Just hearing it gave Hua Yuhang a creepy feeling. He had seen black hole snakes, and those tens of thousands of meters long were already quite powerful. A black hole snake 100,000 kilometers long, could it still be called a black hole snake? On the other side of the formation, Zhu Qiwu was silent for several seconds before speaking again. His voice even deeper.
I didn't expect such a starry sky giant beast to really exist. The ancestor of the black hole snakes truly exists. The origin of black stone and black hole snakes is finally confirmed.
After hearing this, Lin Moyu thought to himself.
So you didn't know either?
Zhu Qiwu asked.
What happened after it appeared? Tell me the details.
Lin Moyu recounted the events after the appearance of the black hole snake ancestor. Hua Yuhang listened with a pounding heart. A massive soul attack directly shattered the demon army. Then it devoured the demon army like food, eating them all. Only the commander escaped using a treasure. Lin Moyu glanced at Hua Yuhang.
That's why I had the skeletons come over to stop you from advancing. If you disturb it, you might also become its food.
Hua Yuhang nodded. The demon army had no resistance, and clearly, they wouldn't fare much better. Although he was confident, he wasn't arrogant and was well aware of his army's capabilities. Hua Yuhang couldn't help but feel grateful to Lin Moyu. If it weren't for him stopping them, his team might have been doomed. Zhu Qiwu's voice came from the formation.
You said it's now coiled in the starry sky, and you can see it?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, I can see it. What do you plan to do?
Lin Moyu had already thought about this.
There are two options. The first is for all of us to leave Area 7 to 77, and you destroy it, taking the black hole snake ancestor and the military star map with it. The second is for me to search alone, and the army returns. They can't see the black hole snake, so having more people is meaningless.
Hua Yuhang looked at Lin Moyu, puzzled by his choice. The second option was very dangerous, extremely dangerous. Why would Lin Moyu choose this, completely disregarding his own life? He didn't understand, but his respect for Lin Moyu grew immensely. He felt Lin Moyu was a person worthy of respect. His gaze changed, and Lin Moyu sensed this change, feeling a bit strange, not knowing what Hua Yuhang was thinking. Zhu Qiwu's voice came from the formation again.
The first option is not feasible. We can't be sure that destroying this void will kill the black hole snake ancestor. Moreover, the cost of destroying this void is too high. If the military star map is swallowed by the black hole snake ancestor, and it doesn't die after the void is destroyed, then the strong ones in the demon race, without restrictions, will kill the black hole snake ancestor and retrieve everything inside it.
Lin Moyu said helplessly.
In the end, it still has to be me. I just want to ask, what if the military star map is really swallowed by the black hole snake ancestor? And how can I determine if the military star map is swallowed by it?
There was silence on the other side again. Hua Yuhang finally seized the opportunity to ask.
Brother Lin, is there really such a large black hole snake?
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
Do you want me to take you to see it?
Hua Yuhang's smile froze on his face.
No.
All the demons who saw it were dead. Wouldn't he die too if he went to see it? Lin Moyu shook his head.
But even if you go, you won't see it. It has the characteristics of a black hole, swallowing light, making it hard to see with the naked eye. Even soul sensing will be absorbed, making it undetectable.
Hua Yuhang responded with an,
Oh?
But he realized something was off and wanted to ask.
If it's invisible, how did you see it?
At this moment, the formation glowed again, and Zhu Qiwu's voice came through.
I'll give you something that can temporarily harness the power of the Human Emperor Network to locate the military star map. But the power of the Human Emperor Network is weak here, and the locating distance is very limited. only about 10,000 kilometers.
Lin Moyu guessed it was a treasure similar to a locator array disk and immediately agreed.
All right, give it to me, and I'll go find it. But I have a question. If it's confirmed that the military star map is swallowed by the black hole snake ancestor, what should I do?
Zhu Qiwu had clearly considered this.
Then give up and think of another way.
The formation's light flickered more intensely, becoming more solid, as if something was forming inside. A material transmission? Lin Moyu didn't expect the formation to have this function. He glanced at Hua Yuhang, who also looked surprised. Lin Moyu asked curiously,
Isn't this your warship? You didn't know it had this function?
Hua Yuhang shook his head, indicating he really didn't know. Lin Moyu chuckled.
You're not very competent. As the owner of the warship, how can you not know its functions?
After a life-and-death battle, Lin Moyu felt relaxed and even joked a bit. The voice of the Legion commander from Fortress Number 7 came from the formation.
It's not that he didn't know, but this formation wasn't originally for transmitting items. After this transmission, the formation will be destroyed and needs to be re-established.
So that's how it was. Lin Moyu smiled at Hua Yuhang.
Sorry, I misunderstood you.
Hua Yuhang quickly shook his head.
Brother Lin is right. I was just promoted to captain not long ago, and am not very familiar with many functions of the warship.
Lin Moyu thought to himself.
He's an honest man.
The item in the formation finally fully materialized. It was indeed an array disk palm-sized, similar to a locator array disk. It had a strong military style with no decorations, far from exquisite, but definitely practical. The formation collapsed at the moment of transmission, and Lin Moyu heard Zhu Qiwu's voice.
Don't die.
Lin Moyu chuckled, put away the array disk, and began refining it with his soul power. At the same time, he said to Hua Yuhang,
You should go back first.
1248. Chapter 1248. Entering the black hole, searching for the star map. Hua Yuhang led the human army away, but they wouldn't leave directly. They would take the humans in Area 7 to 77 with them. Lin Moyu wasn't sure how long the black hole snake ancestor would stay awake, or if it would continue eating after waking up. If it wanted another feast, all living beings in this area would be doomed. Lin Moyu dared to search for the star map only because he held the life-saving jade token given by Zhu Qiwu. He had to complete his mission. If he gave up now, who knew if it would affect his mission rating and ultimately his entry into the Divine City. After refining the jade disk, he learned that it was called the star-fixing disk, part of a set with the military star map. Using the jade disk and relying on the Human Emperor network, he could indeed locate the military star map. Lin Moyu confirmed two things. First, the military star map was not just a record of the specific locations of star fortresses and outpost bases. It must have other functions. Otherwise, neither the demons nor the humans would value it so highly. As for what those functions were, he wasn't sure, but they were definitely related to security. Second, Lin Moyu discovered that the Human Emperor network's ability to interfere with reality was stronger than he had imagined. Here, the Human Emperor network only temporarily covered the area, its power extremely weak, yet it could still interfere with reality. This meant that in the human territories, the Human Emperor network's ability to interfere with reality would be even stronger. It just hadn't shown it yet.
Perhaps only such a powerful force can monitor the entire human world.
Putting his thoughts aside, Lin Moyu returned to the central area. Through the undead vision, he saw that the black hole snake ancestor was still coiled in the starry sky. He didn't know if it had fallen asleep again or was just digesting what it had recently eaten. Nor did he know when it would wake up. Lin Moyu leaned towards the latter. If it were going to sleep, it should return to the black hole. All animals and beasts have this instinct, and Lin Moyu believed the black hole snake ancestor was no exception. Once it finished digesting, it would probably wake up, so Lin Moyu knew he had to act quickly. He left a few skeleton generals in different positions, each more than 500,000 kilometers apart, to keep an eye on the black hole snake ancestor from a distance. If it made any move, Lin Moyu would know immediately. He then headed straight for the black hole. If the black hole snake ancestor were to return, it would definitely go back to the black hole, so the black hole had to be searched first. If the military star map wasn't in the black hole, he would then search the stars and planets. But Lin Moyu didn't hold much hope. If the military star map were on the stars or planets, the demons would have found it by now. Thinking it over, the military star map was either hidden in the black hole or eaten by the black hole snake ancestor. Lin Moyu still couldn't figure out how he wrenching managed to hide the military star map here. Even Zhu Qiwu found it difficult, yet he wrenching did it. That's why those who become gods are extraordinary. Lin Moyu had already withdrawn his 2 original spells, and his aura kept dropping. From the 7th stage of God King, he quickly fell back to the 1st stage of God King, then to True God. He stabilized at the 7th stage of True God. A great battle had consumed a large number of souls, pushing Lin Moyu to the 7th stage of True God. With the increase in realm, his combat power grew stronger. The 3 most basic skeletons now had the combat power of peak True God. The Death Knights had reached the God King realm, and the Bone Dragons were at the peak of the 1st stage of God King. The Death Dragon Knights had reached the peak of the 2nd stage of God King. The Skeleton Generals had officially reached the 3rd stage of God King. According to Lin Moyu's estimation, the Skeleton King's combat power should have reached the 7th stage of God King. With all states and the 2 original spells, the Skeleton King could probably rival an 8th stage God King. Each stage increased significantly boosted combat power, as if there were no bottlenecks. This was completely different from other geniuses. Normally, the higher the realm, the greater the gap between each stage. In the Super God realm, one could challenge 3 or 4 stages higher, but in the True God realm, it might only be 2 or 3 stages, and in the God King realm, it might only be 1 or 2 stages. In the God Sovereign realm, one could only be invincible within the same realm, losing the ability to challenge higher stages. As for cross-realm battles, they were even more impossible. If one could still challenge 1 or 2 stages higher in the God Sovereign realm, they would be top-tier geniuses, key targets for cultivation by the human race. But looking at himself, Lin Moyu had a strange expression. At this rate, once he reached the God King realm, he might be able to contend with God Sovereigns. Based on past experience, once he reached the God King realm, the number of his undead army could greatly increase. Then, using the power gathering spell, his improvement would be astonishing. The key was whether his soul and body could withstand it. My body is not a problem. The difficulty lies in the soul.
But I can't neglect the body either. I need to find a way to continue strengthening it. Once I reach the God King realm, I'll ask around. There must be a way.
As he pondered, he had already crossed 2 stars and entered the black hole's territory. This was his 2nd time entering the black hole's world, but the 1st time didn't count. He was brought in by someone and felt nothing. This time, as he crossed the black hole's boundary, he felt its power. A huge tearing force fell on him, as if trying to tear his body to pieces. Lin Moyu felt as if countless hands were pulling at him. The pulling force wasn't purely physical but contained laws. The black hole's laws. Fortunately, his passive spells dispersed much of the damage, causing him no harm. Not only was his body being pulled, but his soul was also subjected to immense force. However, Lin Moyu's soul was strong enough to remain unaffected. The pulling force acted on the crystal barrier of his soul world, merely causing it to tremble slightly.
No wonder God Kings find black holes dangerous. Because their physical strength is insufficient to withstand the constant pulling force of the black hole. The demons generally have stronger bodies than humans, so they can enter at the 5th stage of God King without much danger. For humans, at least the 8th stage of God King is needed to move here. No wonder humans know nothing about the black hole. 8th stage God Kings can't enter, and 6th stage God Kings will die if they do. It's truly unsolvable.
Lin Moyu analyzed the black hole's information, becoming even more curious about he wrenching. How did he manage to place the military star map here? In the darkness, Lin Moyu didn't change direction, continuing to fall towards the strongest gravitational pull. Suddenly, a light appeared, followed by more lights. The darkness vanished, revealing a colorful and strange world. A large amount of light was twisted here, unable to escape due to the black hole's immense gravity, bouncing around inside. The light intertwined, forming an indescribably strange world.
So, the inside of a black hole isn't dark. The darkness is just the surface. The inside is bright.
The chaotic light made it impossible to discern any images, like seeing jumbled scenes during teleportation. Lin Moyu took out the star-fixing disc and activated it. He also summoned a skeleton and switched to the undead vision. In the undead vision, the chaotic colors disappeared, leaving only gray and white. 1249, 1249. Chapter 1249. Strike while it's down. The star-fixing disc emitted a faint light, appearing gray in the undead vision. As for its true color, it didn't matter at all. The star-fixing disc lit up briefly, with no further response. It could only locate the military star map within a range of 10,000 kilometers, which wasn't very large, so it was normal not to sense anything. Choosing a direction, Lin Moyu quickly flew forward, not wanting to waste time. He left a skeleton general at his original position, using the skeleton for positioning, which was more convenient than making marks. Every few thousand kilometers, Lin Moyu activated the star-fixing disc and continuously placed skeletons. As he measured the black hole's terrain, gradually, the bizarre world became filled with skeletons.
So, the black hole is a sphere.
Lin Moyu sensed the shape of the black hole and discovered it was spherical, not much different from an ordinary star. However, in the black hole, due to the massive amount of matter being attracted and compressed under immense gravity, the black hole's terrain was incredibly solid. Even if Lin Moyu exerted all his strength, he could hardly leave a mark on it.
What is this?
In this bizarre world, Lin Moyu saw a large pit. A large amount of light was being sucked into this bottomless pit. The pit seemed to lead to another world, or perhaps to the core of the black hole. As Lin Moyu gazed into the pit, he suddenly felt a sense of horror. He realized he couldn't go in. If he did, he would surely die. Although he needed to find the military star map, he wouldn't risk his life. He bypassed the pit and continued searching in the black hole. After an unknown amount of time, he finally explored the entire black hole but still found nothing. Feeling a bit disappointed, Lin Moyu left the black hole world. As the tearing force on his body disappeared, his vision gradually cleared, and he saw distant stars and planets. The inside and outside of the black hole seemed like two different worlds, especially that bottomless pit, which gave him a sense of mortal danger. Retracting his gaze from the black hole, he connected with the distant skeleton general and saw the black hole snake ancestor still coiled in the starry sky. The soul flame of the black hole snake ancestor burned intensely, blazing fiercely.
Could it really have been swallowed by that thing?
Lin Moyu muttered, his gaze suddenly sharpening. In the undead vision, the soul flame of the black hole snake ancestor suddenly changed. The previously stable and fierce soul flame became violent. Its body swelled and contracted continuously, and its black scales clapped together, making a banging sound. The black hole snake ancestor opened its huge mouth, flicked its long tongue, and its eyes glowed with a bloody light. A massive suction force emerged from its body, and Lin Moyu felt the surrounding space suddenly darken as all the light was drawn towards it. At this moment, its suction force surpassed that of the black hole, competing for the light of the stars. Lin Moyu felt the immense suction force. If he didn't resist, he would be pulled in as well. Lin Moyu was puzzled.
What's going on? Did it eat too much and get indigestion? It looks like it's in pain.
The black hole snake ancestor indeed appeared to be in pain, its bloody eyes glowing menacingly. Absorbing a large amount of light, its black hole-like body revealed its outline in the starry sky. The soul flame grew more explosive, burning like a towering pillar of fire. The black hole snake ancestor suddenly let out a sharp hiss, and a powerful soul attack swept across the starry sky. Lin Moyu's vision went black, and the observing skeleton generals instantly died. In the next second, the skeleton generals revived, and Lin Moyu quickly reconnected to the undead vision. In the undead vision, he saw a large number of soul flames. Lin Moyu was shocked.
It split.
Each soul flame represented a black hole snake. Of course, they were just ordinary black hole snakes, not very powerful. Lin Moyu had killed many such black hole snakes before.
So, this is how black hole snakes are born. No wonder it's called the black hole snake ancestor. It truly is the ancestor of black hole snakes. Are those black stones?
As the black hole snake ancestor split into black hole snakes, many black fragments also split from its body. These black fragments were black stones, highly valuable. The black hole snake ancestor was not only the source of black hole snakes, but also the source of black stones. In the next second, the black hole snake ancestor let out another sharp hiss, and the thousands of black hole snakes and tens of thousands of black stones scattered into the starry sky, disappearing in an instant. Then the black hole snake ancestor turned and flew towards the black hole. Lin Moyu noticed its speed was much slower than before, seemingly weakened after splitting. Even so, Lin Moyu didn't want to provoke it. No matter how weak it was still much stronger than him. Lin Moyu restrained his aura and quietly activated the star-fixing disc. He stood on the path of the black hole snake ancestor, maintaining a distance of about 3,000 kilometers. This distance was almost like being right next to it for the black hole snake ancestor. After all, its body was over 100,000 kilometers long, and a mere 3,000 kilometers was nothing to it. Lin Moyu did his best to restrain his aura, treating himself like a speck of dust, remaining motionless. When the black hole snake ancestor's head passed by, the star-fixing disc showed no reaction. But when its abdomen passed by, the star-fixing disc suddenly lit up, displaying an arrow. However, the black hole snake ancestor moved too fast and quickly went beyond the range of the star-fixing disc.
It's really in its stomach.
Lin Moyu felt a headache. This was the worst outcome, but also the best. The best outcome was that if the black hole snake ancestor had swallowed it, it wouldn't fall into the hands of the demons. The worst outcome was that retrieving it would be extremely difficult. Now, Lin Moyu had two choices: return and inform Zhu Qiwu, letting him and his team figure it out, or take action himself and kill the black hole snake ancestor, though he wasn't confident. If he missed this opportunity, he might never get another chance. If it returned to the black hole or even entered that large pit. Lin Moyu considered this for only 0.1 seconds before making a decision.
Strike while it's down.
His eyes flashed with determination, and his killing intent surged to the extreme. He unleashed his law domain, and the skeleton generals appeared collectively, slashing at the black hole snake ancestor. The sword energy of the third stage God King fell on the black hole snake ancestor, making a clanging sound as if hitting steel. In the undead vision, the black hole snake ancestor scales showed some marks. The sword energy didn't cause any real damage. This result was entirely within Lin Moyu's expectations. If the skeleton generals were effective, it would be surprising. 9-star spell. Summon Skeleton King. With a point of his finger, the Skeleton King's throne appeared in the starry sky, and the Skeleton King slowly rose from the throne. The Skeleton King had reached the 7th stage of God King, exuding immense power. Its blood-red cloak fluttered in the starry sky. As the Skeleton King appeared, Lin Moyu's aura also surged. Original spell, Power Gathering. Original spell, Strong Soldier. Lin Moyu's power rapidly increased, quickly reaching the God King realm. Ignoring the swelling sensation in his soul, Lin Moyu crossed the boundary. 1,250. Chapter 1250. The Law of the Black Hole Fight to the Fullest. The power of the skeletons continuously flowed into Lin Moyu's soul, and his power level kept rising. Finally, his soul reached its limit, the true limit. Just a little more, and his soul would explode on the spot. Even in his current state, he couldn't maintain it for long. Activating 2 original spells simultaneously, without external supplementation, wouldn't last long. With Lin Moyu's current strength, it would last less than 2 minutes. Now his realm had reached the peak of the God King realm. Although he might be slightly inferior in the laws compared to a true peak god king, the difference wouldn't be much. Time was running out. Within 1 or 2 seconds of Lin Moyu's power surge, the black hole snake ancestor had already noticed the Skeleton King. In its eyes, the Skeleton King was like dust. A Skeleton King only 10,000 meters tall might be a small snack. However, the black hole snake ancestor clearly had no interest in skeletons without flesh, blood, or life aura. This was one reason it had previously ignored the skeletons. In its eyes, skeletons without life aura were like a pile of rotten meat, not even as good as eating some materials. If the skeletons hadn't actively provoked it, it wouldn't have bothered with them. It turned its head, looking at these dust-like beings, and let out a sharp cry. The cry contained a powerful soul attack, causing widespread damage. In Lin Moyu's soul world, the shadow of the black hole snake ancestor appeared again, and the soul attack shook the soul world. The skeleton generals collapsed one after another, with over half of the million skeleton generals dying instantly. The soul attack was so terrifying, clearly showing Lin Moyu that numbers might not always be effective against true powerhouses. But Lin Moyu also deeply felt the weakness of the black hole snake ancestor. If it hadn't split before, this attack would have left no skeleton generals alive. The black hole snake ancestor seemed to have done something trivial, roaring once before turning its head away again. It wanted to return to the black hole for a good sleep, perhaps for another 1,000 or 800 years. At this moment, another sword light flashed, and the Skeleton King made its move. This god-slaying sword aimed at the black hole snake ancestor's head. In the sword light, the black hole snake ancestor's head tilted slightly, then turned back. Lin Moyu saw anger in its eyes. The Skeleton King's sword had hurt it. In the undead vision, several scales on the black hole snake ancestor's head cracked, revealing some unknown colored liquid, likely its blood.
It's effective.
Under the enhancement of the Strong Soldier spell, the Skeleton King's attack power reached at least the peak of the 7th stage of God King, possibly even the threshold of the 8th stage. Lin Moyu couldn't make an accurate judgment, but it didn't matter. What mattered was that the Skeleton King's attack had injured the black hole snake ancestor. The black hole snake ancestor, filled with anger, opened its huge mouth. A massive suction force emerged, and the recently revived skeleton generals were uncontrollably pulled towards the black hole snake ancestor. With a thought, Lin Moyu instantly recalled the skeleton generals. The Skeleton King was unaffected by the suction force. Lin Moyu spread his undead wings and took the giant bone sword from the Skeleton King's hand. The giant bone sword quickly shrank, becoming an ordinary long sword in Lin Moyu's hand. The Skeleton King's bone sword had no additional functions but was sturdy and sharp enough, comparable to a God King realm treasure. At least it could withstand Lin Moyu's power. Spell: Godslaying. Sword light exploded on the black hole snake ancestor, shattering its scales. The black hole snake ancestor screamed in pain. This time, there was no soul attack. It was a scream of pain. The sound, still in the form of a soul sound, spread across the starry sky. Almost half of Area 7 to 77 could hear this sound. The anger in the black hole snake ancestor's eyes grew stronger. This insignificant little creature had heard it again. Its body twisted, and its massive tail swept towards Lin Moyu at an astonishing speed. Lin Moyu vibrated his undead wings, trying to sever the soul lock. At this moment, the black hole snake ancestor's eyes glowed with a bloody light, and Lin Moyu's soul roared, causing him to freeze. The black hole snake ancestor revealed a new method. Its soul attack could be emitted not only through sound but also through its eyes. The roar was omnidirectional, but the eye's soul attack targeted a single entity. The eye's soul attack was stronger, even affecting Lin Moyu. Outside his soul world, the shadow of the black hole snake ancestor appeared again, and a bloody light, like a sharp arrow, struck the crystal barrier. The crystal barrier blocked most of the soul impact, but a small part of the attack penetrated, targeting his soul. Purple light appeared on the surface of his soul, and together with his soul robe, they formed a solid defense. The soul attack was blocked, but his soul paused for a moment. The entire process happened in an instant, lasting no more than 0.1 seconds, but 0.1 seconds was enough for a powerhouse at this level to do many things. When Lin Moyu regained his senses, a fierce wind howled, and the black hole snake ancestor's tail was already inches away. Lin Moyu had no chance to dodge and could only take the hit. His law domain quickly retracted, enveloping his entire body. The bone armor flashed and then shattered in an instant. Lin Moyu was struck by the massive tail, flying far into the sky. The black hole snake ancestor strike was powerful enough to shatter stars, its strength unimaginable. It wasn't just a physical attack. It contained the power of laws. The laws quickly absorbed all of Lin Moyu's power and vitality, then exploded, using his own power and vitality to attack him. The entire process was like a black hole absorbing light and matter, then collapsing and expelling everything it had absorbed. The absorption was slow, but the expulsion was like a cannonball, terrifyingly fast. This was the law of the black hole, one of the most terrifying laws in the first tier. The skeletons in the stellar spell quickly collapsed, one after another, collapsing 4 times in a row before stopping. This strike also contained the ability to track the soul, determined to kill Lin Moyu. Antares once said that soul tracking was a common attack method in the Great World. But after entering the Great World, Lin Moyu found this wasn't the case. Not even many true gods, let alone super gods, could use soul tracking. Now Lin Moyu finally experienced what soul tracking was. One attack, multiple injuries, all aimed at killing the target. It wasn't that no one could use soul tracking. It was that super gods and true gods couldn't. Antares had high standards. What he referred to were those above the God King realm. Lin Moyu was sent flying hundreds of thousands of kilometers before he barely regained control of his body. At this moment, a massive suction force acted on him, pulling him uncontrollably towards the black hole snake ancestor. The black hole snake ancestor opened its mouth, like a black hole, forcibly pulling Lin Moyu back at a speed almost exceeding his own. The undead wings vibrated frantically, resisting the suction force, buying Lin Moyu a bit of time. Sword light flashed, and Lin Moyu slashed again, targeting the black hole snake ancestor's mouth. At the same time, he pointed with his left hand, and red light filled the sky. After the sword strike, Lin Moyu didn't wait to see the result. A phantom bow appeared before him. 1251, 1251. Chapter 1251. A strike from the God Sovereign, the shattered starry sky. The illusory bow was constructed from laws, and soul power drew the bowstring, releasing an arrow. Lin Moyu borrowed the skeleton soul archer spell, supplemented by the time curse, to launch a dual attack on the soul. The black hole snake ancestor excelled in soul attacks, but that didn't mean its soul defense was strong. These were two different things. Lin Moyu wasn't very sure, so he had to try. The soul attack was almost simultaneous with the god-slaying sword strike. The black hole snake ancestor trembled all over, and sword light shone in its mouth, almost severing its giant tongue. Its entire body trembled violently, letting out a hoarse scream. Its soul defense wasn't strong, and Lin Moyu's soul attack caused significant damage. Under the attack, Lin Moyu had already rushed to the black hole snake ancestor's side, slashing down with the bone sword like a storm. Scales shattered into countless fragments, exploding at the point of the bone sword. The skeleton king's sword was sharp and sturdy enough for Lin Moyu to attack without worry, not fearing it would break. The black hole snake ancestor came to its senses, roaring and launching another wave of soul attacks. At the same time, its body trembled violently, and all its scales opened, shooting out intense black light. The black light wove into a dense net, suddenly expanding. Lin Moyu's face changed slightly, raising the bone sword to block in front of him, colliding with the black light. A massive force transmitted through the sword, directly knocking Lin Moyu away. At the point of contact between the bone sword and the black light, Lin Moyu felt the power of the black hole law. In that instant of contact, a large amount of his power was lost, and his body felt weak. The black hole law could devour power and vitality, and in that moment of contact it had devoured part of his power. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the power of the skeletons flowed over, instantly replenishing his consumption. The black hole snake ancestor's scales detached from its body, flying off like an animal shedding its skin, leaving no scales on its body. Billions of scales, interwoven with the black hole law, formed a large sphere, like a brand new black hole. The black hole law erupted, and the sphere generated a terrifying suction force, absorbing everything within 1,000,000 kilometers. At the same time, the black sphere began to spin violently, with black light on the sphere like sharp swords, turning the entire sphere into a cutting tool. Everything absorbed would be cut into pieces by the black light. Lin Moyu struggled to resist the suction force, being slowly pulled towards it. The black hole snake ancestor's mastery of the black hole law far surpassed Lin Moyu's rudimentary understanding. No matter how strong Lin Moyu's power was, his true cultivation was only at the 7th stage of true God. His understanding of the laws was also only at the 7th stage of true God. In a pure contest of laws, Lin Moyu was completely outmatched. The black hole law was also a top-tier law. Even if slightly weaker than the undying law, it wasn't by much. Lin Moyu realized he had completely underestimated the black hole snake ancestor's combat power. Even in its weakened state, it still possessed terrifying power beyond the peak of God King. Lin Moyu felt that in its prime, it could definitely contend with a God Sovereign. Even now, it could easily crush all God Kings. Seeing the black sphere getting closer, Lin Moyu knew that if he got sucked in, he would be shattered. Even if he revived, it would just mean dying again. Lin Moyu threw the bone sword with all his might, and the Skeleton King responded, catching the bone sword. The bone sword quickly enlarged, exceeding 10,000 meters. The Skeleton King swung the bone sword, first unleashing a god-slaying strike, then accelerating towards the black sphere, colliding with it before Lin Moyu. The light of the god-slaying sword erupted on the black sphere, causing a slight pause in its violent rotation. The Skeleton King seized the opportunity to pounce on the black sphere, ignoring the black light falling on it, and crazily slashed at the sphere with the bone sword. Lin Moyu felt the suction force on him weaken significantly. Seizing the opportunity, he flapped his undead wings, flying over the black sphere and approaching the black hole snake ancestor. Without the protection of its black scales, the black hole snake ancestor's smooth snakeskin was exposed. Although its defense was still strong, it was much weaker than the scales. Its techniques were powerful, but it also had fatal weaknesses. The black hole snake ancestor looked at Lin Moyu, its eyes glowing with a bloody light, launching another soul attack. At the same time, its giant tail whipped over like a whip, identical to its previous attack. Lin Moyu's soul power fully erupted, and the talent tree extended into the soul world. As the black hole snake ancestor's shadow appeared, countless branches whipped at it. The 9-colored dragon soul crystal also responded, attacking the black hole snake ancestor's shadow in coordination with the talent tree. The black hole snake ancestor's soul attack was shattered before it could form. Soul attacks always had a dual nature. Once broken, the attacker would be injured. The black hole snake ancestor's soul trembled, temporarily dazed, and even its tail's strike weakened and stopped. This state wouldn't last long, at most half a second. Half a second was a rare opportunity. 1,000,000 skeleton generals appeared in the starry sky, simultaneously slashing at the black hole snake ancestor's head. Lin Moyu took out a piece of flesh, the flesh of the abyssal dragon demon's second avatar. The second avatar of the abyssal dragon demon was a god sovereign. Although Lin Moyu didn't know its exact level, he felt it wouldn't be weaker than the 5th stage of god sovereign. The black hole snake ancestor before him, at most, was at the 1st stage of god sovereign, maybe not even a god sovereign, or it wouldn't have been injured by him. The identity of a starry sky giant beast gave it immense vitality. If it were in its prime, Lin Moyu wouldn't be able to kill it even with the abyssal dragon demon's flesh. But now it was weakened, injured, and without its scales. Lin Moyu felt the opportunity had come. A sense of danger descended, and the black hole snake ancestor came to its senses, letting out a terrifying scream. But it was too late. The abyssal dragon demon's flesh in Lin Moyu's hand exploded. Stellar level spell. Corpse explosion. In the next second, Lin Moyu saw an unbelievable scene. The starry sky shattered. The starry sky within tens of thousands of kilometers of the black hole snake ancestor cracked like glass, forming dense spiderweb-like fissures, then shattered with a bang. Shattering along with the space was the black hole snake ancestor's head and tens of thousands of kilometers of its body. The black hole snake ancestor's 100,000-kilometer-long body was at least half destroyed. Lin Moyu was shocked. This was the power of a high-level god sovereign's full-force strike. Corpse explosion, detonating the abyssal dragon demon's flesh, was equivalent to the second avatar of the abyssal dragon demon at its peak. With various enhancements, it was even stronger than a full-force strike. It directly shattered the starry sky, revealing the mysterious world behind it. Brilliant light flashed before his eyes, followed by a chaotic energy flow rushing out from the world's gap. Lin Moyu was instantly blown away, flying tens of thousands of kilometers. The black hole snake ancestor's flesh was also blown away, its shattered body parts flying everywhere. 1,000,000 skeleton generals were also blown away uncontrollably. The scene became chaotic, and in the chaos, Lin Moyu saw a shining object like a scroll.
The military star map.
He recognized it at a glance. It was the military star map. Lin Moyu flapped his undead wings, flying against the chaotic energy flow, using all his strength to grab the military star map. The gap in the starry sky quickly closed, smoothed over by the rules of the great world. In the starry sky, besides the ubiquitous flesh, there was the half-destroyed body of the black hole snake ancestor and the shattered black sphere formed by its scales. The black sphere had already shattered, turning into countless scales, floating in the starry sky like garbage.
You deserve to die.
Before he could catch his breath, an angry roar echoed through the starry sky, a chilling voice coming from the black hole, sending a shiver down Lin Moyu's spine. 1252 1252. Chapter 1252. Terrifying existence, escaping from death. A chill spread rapidly from Lin Moyu's back to his entire body. At this moment, Lin Moyu felt the threat of death. He was certain that the angry roar filled with killing intent came from the center of the black hole, from that bottomless pit. When he was gazing into the pit, he had already sensed the deadly danger. If he had dared to jump in to explore the pit's secrets, he would have undoubtedly died. The battlefield, besides opportunities, also hid various dangers. Some dangers could even cause the fall of a god sovereign. Over countless years, many god sovereigns had fallen on the battlefield. Without thinking, Lin Moyu put away the military star map, flapped his undead wings, and fled without looking back. Suddenly, a suction force fell upon him, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move forward even a step. The suction from the black hole grew stronger, quickly spreading throughout his body, rendering Lin Moyu immobile. This force pulled Lin Moyu towards the black hole. Lin Moyu seemed to see the pit in the black hole grinning at him. The existence in the pit seemed to want to tear him to pieces. If he entered the black hole, Lin Moyu knew he would surely die, and no one could save him. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his soul.
You killed my pet, so you shall accompany me.
The voice sent chills down Lin Moyu's spine. He gritted his teeth.
Accompany my ass.
He looked at the blood and flesh of the black hole snake ancestor flying back with him and barely managed to release a wisp of undead flame with a flick of his finger. Stellar level spell. Resurrection of the dead. The flame quickly surrounded the blood and flesh of the black hole snake ancestor, and its body and soul began to regenerate. In less than 2 seconds, the black hole snake ancestor reappeared in the starry sky. But this time, the black hole snake ancestor had become Lin Moyu's resurrected servant. The moment the black hole snake ancestor was resurrected, Lin Moyu felt the suction from the black hole lessen. The massive body of the black hole snake ancestor blocked most of the suction force in front of Lin Moyu. Finally regaining some freedom of movement, Lin Moyu didn't hesitate and immediately took out the jade token given by Zhu Qiwu. crushing it with force. The jade token emitted a brilliant light, enveloping Lin Moyu. In the light, Lin Moyu's figure disappeared. The target escaped, and an angry roar echoed from the black hole, resounding throughout Area 7 to 77. All living beings in Area 7 to 77 had their souls collectively destroyed at this moment, completely dying. Area 7 to 77 instantly became a true dead zone, a graveyard. At the outpost base of Area 7 to 77, Zhu Qiwu and others were waiting. A few minutes ago, Hua Yuhang's team had already returned, and now they were just waiting for Lin Moyu. Zhu Qiwu's eyelids suddenly twitched several times, and he received a message from the Human Emperor Network. His whole body trembled, and his face showed shock. Fortunately, no one was around to notice his expression. He muttered,
"What exactly is in the black hole? That brat, he better not be in trouble."
As soon as he finished speaking, the teleportation array lit up. Zhu Qiwu immediately looked over. During their operation, the teleportation array at the outpost base had been closed. Only a few people had the authority to use the teleportation array. Lin Moyu's teleportation jade token was connected to the teleportation array. In the light, Lin Moyu's figure appeared. Seeing this, Zhu Qiwu couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Lin Moyu stood motionless in the teleportation array, and soon, a purple light emerged from his body. His soul began to collapse after returning. This was the aftereffect of the power-gathering spell exceeding its limit. Then, under the effect of his comprehensive rebirth talent, his soul was reborn, restored to its peak state, even stronger than before. When killing the black hole snake ancestor, the power-gathering spell absorbed part of its soul power, nourishing Lin Moyu's soul like a tonic. This allowed Lin Moyu's realm to advance further, not far from the 8th stage of True God. After the comprehensive rebirth, feeling the relief of escaping from death, Lin Moyu still stood motionless in the teleportation array. With his eyes slightly closed, his consciousness crossed an infinite distance, connecting with the consciousness of the black hole snake ancestor. Although he couldn't directly connect to its vision like with the undead, a simple consciousness connection was still possible. Through the feedback from the black hole snake ancestor's consciousness, he could gather a lot of information. Unfortunately, the black hole snake ancestor's intelligence was not high, and the feedback was chaotic. Lin Moyu felt that the black hole snake ancestor had arrived in another world, a very cold world without temperature.
"This is the world inside the pit. What exactly is in the pit?"
As Lin Moyu pondered, he sensed a massive hand placed on the black hole snake ancestor. The black hole snake ancestor was 100,000 kilometers long, with a head several thousand kilometers in length. But such a large head was held by that giant hand. How big must the owner of that hand be? It was unimaginable. The giant hand gently stroked the black hole snake ancestor's head, seemingly very gentle, but in the next second, it suddenly squeezed the head. Then the black hole snake ancestor's head was crushed, and the consciousness connection was severed. The black hole snake ancestor died. After becoming a resurrected servant, its strength had been restored to its peak state. A black hole snake ancestor at least comparable to a god sovereign was killed just like that. The powerful existence in the pit, the master of the black hole snake ancestor, killed it so easily. How strong must that being be? Lin Moyu severed the consciousness connection and slowly opened his eyes, seeing Zhu Qiwu not far away. Zhu Qiwu was looking at him with a questioning gaze. After catching his breath, Lin Moyu had completely calmed down. He walked over in a few steps, took out the military star map, and handed it to Zhu Qiwu.
"Senior, I retrieved the star map."
Zhu Qiwu took the military star map but didn't open it immediately. Instead, he looked at Lin Moyu.
"Did you encounter danger?"
Lin Moyu nodded.
"I almost didn't make it back."
Zhu Qiwu said in a deep voice.
"Tell me in detail."
Earlier, he had received a message from the Human Emperor Network, knowing that a terrifying existence was hidden in Area 7 to 77. There was no more information. To know the details, he had to ask Lin Moyu, the person involved. Zhu Qiwu flicked his finger, and an invisible law power enveloped the two of them. Only he could hear what Lin Moyu said. Lin Moyu recounted his previous experiences, including how he killed the black hole snake ancestor. There was no need to hide this, including the two original spells, which Zhu Qiwu already knew about. After listening to Lin Moyu, Zhu Qiwu remained silent for a moment before speaking.
According to your description, the black hole snake ancestor should have the strength of a half-step god sovereign.
Lin Moyu nodded.
That's about right.
A half-step god sovereign is not as strong as a true god sovereign but far surpasses an ordinary god king. Some call a half-step god sovereign the peak of the god king realm, but it's essentially the same thing. The gap between the god king realm and the god sovereign realm is vast. A god king at the peak of their power but not yet a god sovereign is called a peak god king, also known as a half-step god sovereign. Lin Moyu's previous power had already reached the peak of the god king realm, but due to his lack of understanding of the laws, he was still inferior to the black hole snake ancestor. If his understanding of the laws were as strong as the black hole snake ancestors, he wouldn't have feared it at all.
The black hole snake ancestor was just a pet. What level of power do you think its master has?
1253, 1253. Chapter 1253. He wrenching in the military star map. Faced with Zhu Qiwu's question, Lin Moyu pondered for a few seconds and then showed a bitter smile.
You're putting me in a difficult position. With my limited knowledge, how could I determine the other party's level?
Lin Moyu continued.
It's already fortunate that I managed to escape with my life. If it weren't for the jade token you gave me, I would have definitely died there.
Zhu Qiwu smiled, knowing that Lin Moyu was telling the truth.
Indeed, it's unexpected that there is someone above the black hole snake ancestor.
Zhu Qiwu's eyes sparkled with a sharp light, and Lin Moyu seemed to see a strong fighting spirit in them. Judging by his appearance, Zhu Qiwu seemed very interested in the existence within the pit. Lin Moyu felt that Zhu Qiwu might not be stronger than that terrifying existence. At most, they were evenly matched, but this was just a feeling without any solid basis. After a moment, the fighting spirit in Zhu Qiwu's eyes disappeared.
It's a pity that due to the rules I can't go in, and he can't come out.
Hearing this, Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that Zhu Qiwu knew something about the other party's identity. Even if he didn't know the exact identity, he should know the origin. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said such a thing. But Lin Moyu also understood that even if he asked, Zhu Qiwu wouldn't tell him. His own strength was too weak, and he didn't need to know so much. Zhu Qiwu changed the topic.
Successfully retrieving the military star map is a great achievement, and you will be well rewarded.
Lin Moyu said.
This is what I should do.
Lin Moyu spoke sincerely, and it was indeed the truth. The military star map was extremely important to the human race, and he would do his best to retrieve it whenever possible. Moreover, the main reason he dared to risk his life this time was because of the teleportation jade token given by Zhu Qiwu and the flesh of the abyssal dragon demon's second avatar. These were his life-saving measures. After all, it was just Area 7 to 77, and no matter how strong the black hole snake ancestor was, it couldn't be ridiculously strong. As for the existence in the black hole, that was an unexpected situation that no one could have anticipated. Zhu Qiwu looked at Lin Moyu.
Are you interested in the military star map, thinking it has other uses?
As expected, he saw through it. Lin Moyu knew that some of his thoughts couldn't be hidden from the person in front of him, who had lived for thousands of years and was very shrewd. So Lin Moyu didn't bother to hide much.
Indeed, I am a bit interested. If it were just a map, the demon race wouldn't go to such lengths.
Zhu Qiwu smiled.
Come on, let me show you, and you can ask him how he did it.
There was a deeper meaning in his words. Lin Moyu didn't ask further and followed Zhu Qiwu. The two arrived in the starry sky, and Zhu Qiwu summoned his vehicle. A god-sovereign level warship, comparable to the war god fortress. After entering the warship, it immediately sealed off, completely isolating them from the outside world. Zhu Qiwu held the military star map and slowly opened it, then activated it. The military star map emitted a brilliant light, projecting a holographic star map. This was the star map of the Vermilion Bird battlefield. Lin Moyu had seen it in Fortress Number 1 before, but this one had more details. At this moment, Zhu Qiwu said,
Hirenxing, come out.
Lin Moyu was slightly stunned. Zhu Qiwu was calling for He Renxing. Wasn't He Renxing already killed by him? He had seen it with his own eyes, so there couldn't be a mistake. A few seconds after Zhu Qiwu's words, there was no response from the holographic star map. Zhu Qiwu frowned slightly, his tone becoming stern.
Hirenxing, do you want me to take action personally?
A faint killing intent spread, and finally there was a reaction in the holographic star map. A figure slowly emerged from the star map, then flew out and appeared in the warship. He Renxing left the military star map and respectfully saluted Zhu Qiwu.
Greetings, Guardian.
Lin Moyu was shocked. The person in front of him was indeed He Renxing. However, his aura was only at the 6th stage of God King. He Renxing was clearly a God Sovereign and had been killed by Zhu Qiwu. Why was there a 6th stage God King He Renxing here?
A clone.
Lin Moyu was startled, realizing what was going on. Zhu Qiwu waved his hand.
Speak, don't think about hiding anything. You know you can't hide it from me.
He Renxing nodded.
I wouldn't dare hide anything from the Guardian. When I was at the True God realm, I was controlled by the bewitching demon during a great battle and became a puppet. At that time, about 1,000 people, including myself, were controlled by the bewitching demon. Later, I cultivated and advanced, eventually reaching the God's sovereign realm and becoming an elder of Fortress Number 7. The bewitching demon's control always existed. You know that even after becoming a God sovereign, it's hard to break free. This control erodes the soul, making it impossible to betray.
He Renxing paused at this point. Zhu Qiwu didn't interrupt him, signaling him to continue. He Renxing continued.
But you also know that a God sovereign soul is strong enough, and I had my own thoughts. Sometimes I would immerse my soul in the Lost Star River to cleanse it. I am a God sovereign of the human race. From the bottom of my heart, I could never betray the human race, not even in death. But under the bewitching demon's control, I couldn't even die if I wanted to. The most troublesome part was that I couldn't tell anyone about this. If I did, the bewitching demon would sense it and completely control my mind. With my combat power, I could cause devastating damage to the army in Fortress Number 7 if I acted unexpectedly, so I couldn't speak out. Later, I found a lot of information and finally discovered a way to break free from the bewitching demon. I spent hundreds of years gathering various rare materials and finally created a clone. Then, in the Lost Star River, under the cleansing of the laws, I split 1/3 of my soul and injected it into the clone. With the protection of the Lost Star River, the split 1/3 of my soul was pure and untainted by the bewitching demon. Moreover, what I did in the Lost Star River was undetectable by the bewitching demon. Coincidentally, I was assigned to manage the military star map. The bewitching demon naturally knew and ordered me to steal the military star map. I had no choice but to steal it, but I could hide it without anyone knowing. The bewitching demon was too far away to monitor me constantly. So I gave the military star map to my clone and took it to Area 7 to 77, entering the black hole. The clone encountered the black hole's snake ancestor and was accidentally swallowed by it, so I hid in the military star map. From that moment, the clone became my main body. The previous main body was destined to die, and I guessed it would die at your hands. But you acted too quickly, not giving me a chance to explain. Once I died, the bewitching demon could control my soul and obtain information. Fortunately, this young brother could also control souls, otherwise it would have been troublesome.
After hearing the whole process, Lin Moyu felt it was truly incredible. This God Sovereign had been controlled since the True God realm and later took various measures to save himself. Although he stole the military star map, he had his reasons and still cared about the human race. But the fact remained that he had stolen the military star map, making it difficult to deal with him. Moreover, his last sentence made Zhu Qiwu feel a bit awkward. Zhu Qiwu had acted too quickly, not giving him a chance to explain, almost causing a big problem. He Renqing's plan was meticulous, and he must have had a way to convey some information to Zhu Qiwu. Zhu Qiwu's mouth twitched slightly. 1254, 1254. Chapter 1254. The True Function of the Military Star Map. Zhu Qiwu remained silent. Lin Moyu spoke up at the right moment to ease the tension.
In any case, the military star map has been retrieved, so let's put the past behind us.
His words helped dissolve the awkwardness for Zhu Qiwu. Zhu Qiwu cleared his throat.
This matter ends here. Although you took the military star map, it was beyond your control, and you have made your best efforts to make amends. I will make the decision on this matter and will not pursue it further. However, you cannot stay here any longer. As for your next steps, return to Fortress Number 1 and wait for my notification.
He Renqing respectfully saluted Zhu Qiwu.
Thank you, Guardian.
Zhu Qiwu said,
I have informed Commander Xiao. He will take you to get a new battlefield token, but you should also change your appearance. Many people know you.
The commander Xiao Zhu Qiwu mentioned was the Legion commander of Fortress Number 7. Zhu Qiwu wouldn't trust anyone else with this task. In the eyes of many, He Renqing was already dead and should not reappear. He Renqing nodded, indicating his understanding. His appearance changed, and in an instant he became another person. This clone was a refined puppet, not a true flesh body. Moreover, for a strong person at the God King level, changing appearance was not difficult. He Renqing's appearance changed, and his cultivation level also shifted from God Sovereign to the 6th stage of God King. If he didn't reveal it, no one would know he was He Renqing. After changing his battlefield token, he would become a completely new 6th stage God King. A few seconds later, the warship's door automatically opened, and Commander Xiao was already waiting outside. He would take He Renqing to get a new battlefield token and re-register his information in the Human Emperor network. After changing everything, He Renqing would become another person. Unfortunately, his soul was now 2/3 less, making it extremely difficult to cultivate back to his original state unless he had a great opportunity. Watching He Renqing leave, Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh. A dignified God Sovereign ended up like this. Lin Moyu sighed sincerely.
The great world is perilous. One wrong step leads to another.
Zhu Qiwu glanced at Lin Moyu, clearly disagreeing with his sentiment.
Why sigh? This is already a good outcome for him. Moreover, your statement is problematic. It's not just the great world. Everything in the universe is like this. Whether you embark on the path of cultivation or not, it's the same. Those who haven't cultivated, or even entered the great world, die silently due to various reasons. Isn't that even more tragic?
Lin Moyu asked.
Are you really planning to send him back to the human star domain?
According to He Renqing, he had indeed tried his best to minimize losses, and the human race's losses this time were indeed not significant. But this was just his side of the story and couldn't be fully trusted. At least, from Lin Moyu's understanding of the human high command, they wouldn't completely trust He Renqing. Better safe than sorry. From a racial perspective, any potential threat must be eliminated in the cradle. Otherwise, the consequences could be unimaginable. Zhu Qiwu didn't answer but instead asked,
What do you think? If it were you, what would you do?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
First, conduct a thorough examination to ensure he has truly broken free from the bewitching demon's control. I believe the human race has ways to verify this. This is just the first step. The bewitching demon's control can sometimes affect one's nature, making him unsuitable for military service or staying in the Vermilion Bird Star domain. Arrange for him to live in a distant place. In the human star domain, the Human Emperor network can monitor him, ensuring nothing major happens under normal circumstances.
Zhu Qiwu's eyes showed increasing satisfaction, and he didn't hesitate to praise.
Not bad, your thoughts are very good. We will indeed do this. You seem well suited for the military. Are you interested in formally joining?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
No, I prefer a free life. Besides, I am already an honorary soldier, which makes me part of the military. Whenever I'm on the battlefield, you can call on me if needed.
Zhu Qiwu laughed, not forcing him.
As you wish. In the end, it's all the same.
There seemed to be a deeper meaning in Zhu Qiwu's words, which Lin Moyu noted down. Zhu Qiwu's gaze returned to the holographic star map.
All right, let me formally demonstrate the true function of the military star map.
Lin Moyu focused his attention. The military star map, which could make the demon army come out in full force and the human race willing to destroy an entire area to fight for it, must contain some significant secrets. As Zhu Qiwu continued to activate the star map, it unfolded like a scroll, and the projected image became increasingly clear and complete. The holographic star map fully expanded, enveloping the entire space, making Lin Moyu feel as if he were inside it. Various regions were outlined, each representing a battlefield zone, further divided into smaller areas. Each area had its own shape, some spherical, some square, some rectangular, and many irregular shapes. Compared to the star map seen in Fortress No. 1, this one was much more detailed. Besides the outlined areas, most of the space was nameless void. In the entire Vermilion Bird battlefield star map, the nameless void occupied more than 80% of the area. Then, star-like light points lit up, representing 10 star fortresses. Fortresses No. 1 to No. 6 were on the outermost edge of the battlefield, forming a circle around it. Fortresses No. 7 to No. 9 formed a triangle in the central area of the battlefield. At the very center of the battlefield, a particularly bright light point shone brilliantly. That was Fortress No. 10, the most powerful of all the star fortresses, where Zhu Qiwu was stationed. The star fortresses not only had strong combat power but also served as military bases, each housing millions of troops. Zhu Qiwu explained,
Star fortresses are different from war god fortresses. War god fortresses are mobile military bases with less combat power than star fortresses. Star fortresses can also move, but they are too large and slow, though they have strong combat power.
Lin Moyu nodded slightly, understanding the difference. In terms of combat power, star fortresses were undoubtedly the strongest, followed by mobile fortresses like war god fortresses, then warships, god sovereign level warships, and god king level warships. These were the human race's war machines, extremely powerful. As for Zhu Qiwu's warship, it was a special product, different from mass-produced war machines and couldn't be ranked among them. After the 10 star fortresses appeared, more light points began to light up on the holographic star map, representing numerous outpost bases. Each outpost base corresponded to a specific area. A total of 931 light points represented 931 outpost bases. Up to this point, everything seemed normal. This was what Zhu Qiwu had initially told him. The star map could indicate the locations of outpost bases. This was why both the demons and the human race wanted to seize the star map. But Lin Moyu felt that the star map's function was not limited to this. Zhu Qiwu glanced at Lin Moyu, then lightly tapped the star map with his finger, causing it to emit a brilliant light. 1255 1255. Chapter 1255. This kind of thing should never happen. The light illuminated the small space, and on the holographic star map, one light point after another appeared. Compared to the star fortresses, the light points representing the outpost bases were much smaller, like glowing mosquitoes flickering in the starry sky. The light points became denser and denser, almost every area had light points. In the nameless void, the light points were relatively fewer, but they were not completely absent. Most of the light points were moving, while a few remained stationary. The holographic star map was scaled down countless times, making the light points appear to move slowly. In reality, their speed was astonishing. Lin Moyu didn't understand the meaning of these light points at first, but after a few seconds, he suddenly realized what they represented. Each light point represented a human cultivator. The star map clearly marked the positions of every human cultivator, and this marking was in real time. In most of the
433
areas, the positions of human cultivators were clearly visible. Only a few special areas were not marked, possibly due to special rules in those areas. For example, the Shuajin area from the past was a closed world, and the star map couldn't mark the situation inside. There were many similar areas. Out of a total of 931 areas, at least 800 areas had clear movements of human cultivators. Zhu Qiwu smiled.
Now you understand why the military star map is so important.
Lin Moyu wasn't foolish. He quickly understood. The exposure of outpost bases was already a significant issue. If the movements of human cultivators were also exposed, the demons could easily target them. First, they could destroy the outpost bases, then find the human cultivators on the battlefield and kill them one by one. The losses for the human race would be catastrophic, to say the least. In the worst-case scenario, the human race could be completely driven out of the Vermilion Bird battlefield, and countless years of effort would be ruined. The Vermilion Bird battlefield produced various materials essential to any race. Accumulated over time, these materials could significantly enhance a race's combat power. The cruelty of the Great World was evident. Even a small setback could be magnified infinitely. All races, for the sake of survival in the Great World, never dared to be careless and had to strive for every advantage. Lin Moyu couldn't help but ask.
Such an important item should be strictly guarded.
Zhu Qiwu put away the military star map.
This was an accident, and we were a bit careless. After all, there hadn't been any issues in the thousands of years since the military star map was created. We will strengthen the protection in the future. This kind of thing will only happen once, never a second time.
Lin Moyu didn't say anything, but he thought that such a thing shouldn't happen even once. The military star map was a double-edged sword. In their own hands, it could clearly locate their own people, making rescue and other operations convenient. But if it fell into enemy hands, it would become a deadly weapon against their own people. There were 10 such star maps, one for each fortress. After this incident, the protection of the military star maps would undoubtedly be greatly strengthened. It was highly likely that the Legion commanders would personally guard them. As Zhu Qiwu said, this kind of thing could only happen once. The teleportation array in Fortress Number 1 flashed brightly, and Lin Moyu walked out of it. Zhu Qiwu had other matters to attend to and told him to return first. As for the 2 missions, the Human Emperor Network would handle the settlement, and he just needed to wait quietly in Fortress Number 1. Zhu Qiwu also specifically reminded him not to leave Fortress Number 1 until he received the mission settlement information. This mission was special, involving many people, so the settlement would take some time. Coincidentally, Lin Moyu had things to do in Fortress Number 1. He needed to go to the trading center to sell the materials he had on him. He had previously agreed with Yu Zhu to meet her, but he was called away by Zhu Qiwu and didn't have time to go. Entering the trading center, Lin Moyu went straight to the central counter. At the counter, the same woman named Yu Qing was there, but the God King surnamed Lu was not. The trading center seemed to have a deep connection with the Yu family, a large family to which both Yu Qing and Yu Zhu belonged. Lin Moyu didn't know their exact relationship. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, knowing that his information had been leaked by that God King. It wasn't done very cleverly, but Zhu Qiwu had said he wouldn't deal with the God King surnamed Lu. Such a foolish person had his uses. Lin Moyu approached the counter, and Yu Qing's eyes lit up.
Mr. Lin, you're here. The trading room is ready, and Miss Shu is waiting for you.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Take me there.
Yu Qing immediately called a staff member to guide Lin Moyu. From Yu Qing's words, Lin Moyu gathered some information. She called him Mr. Lin naturally, indicating she knew him but wouldn't normally address him as Mr. Lin.
Mr.
was a term of respect, used only for people of high status, regardless of their cultivation level. This indicated that in Yu Qing's eyes, Lin Moyu's status was high. Moreover, she mentioned Miss Zhu, which made Lin Moyu connect the dots. Yu Zhu was
Miss,
indicating her high status in the Yu family. Yu Qing was also a member of the Yu family but clearly of lower status than Yu Zhu. Calling him Mr. Lin was likely at Yu Zhu's behest. Once again, Lin Moyu arrived at the serene and picturesque backyard. Ancient and elegant pavilions were scattered throughout the backyard. Most of the pavilions were covered by formations, conducting transactions. Lin Moyu arrived at a pavilion where the formation was not activated. Yu Zhu sat elegantly inside, brewing fragrant tea. The aroma of the tea wafted out, gradually dispersing. Just by smelling it, Lin Moyu knew it was iced tea from the Ice Clan. This tea was unforgettable after just one taste. Seeing Lin Moyu, Yu Zhu's eyes lit up with a hint of joy, and she teased.
Captain, you broke your promise.
Yu Zhu exuded a slightly mature charm. The first time they met, Lin Moyu thought Yu Zhu had a good temperament, mature with a touch of playfulness. But after meeting Aunt Xiao, he realized that Yu Zhu was actually imitating her Aunt Xiao. Lin Moyu entered the pavilion, and the formation activated, turning the pavilion into an independent small world. Lin Moyu sat down, and Yu Zhu skillfully poured him a cup of tea. The cold, refreshing tea entered his mouth, exploding in his throat, sending an indescribable coolness throughout his body. Lin Moyu put down the teacup and smiled.
You don't need to imitate Aunt Xiao. Everyone has their own temperament. Imitating too much makes you unlike yourself.
Yu Zhu giggled.
Then what kind of temperament do you think suits me?
The mature charm faded slightly, replaced by a playful demeanor. Lin Moyu casually replied,
Both are good. Just be yourself.
Seeing Lin Moyu's serious expression, Yu Zhu put away her smile.
Captain, you really have no sense of humor.
Lin Moyu asked,
Have you been waiting these past 2 days? Of course, I kept my promise, unlike you, Captain.
Yu Zhu said playfully, her eyes showing a hint of reproach. 1256 1256. Chapter 1256. This lady has everything. Yu Zhu was very beautiful, her charming eyes sparkling like stars. At this moment, Lin Moyu had lost some of his mature demeanor and gained a bit of playfulness, along with a hint of charm. It was hard for Lin Moyu to imagine how one person could simultaneously display multiple personalities. But he had to admit Yu Zhu was quite alluring at the moment. Lin Moyu's expression remained unchanged, ignoring Yu Zhu's beauty. In a calm and steady tone, he said,
I had some urgent matters to take care of, but let's proceed with the trade. This time the trade volume is very large.
Seeing this, Yu Zhu looked a bit disappointed and gradually dropped her smile.
All right, let me call a few more sisters over.
When Lin Moyu said the trade volume was large, he definitely wasn't just saying it. The trade volume really was massive. Unlike some people who claim to have a large batch of goods to sell but only produce a small scattered pile. Soon, 4 female traders entered the pavilion one by one. They were old acquaintances, the same 4 who had previously appraised items together. After the 4 entered, they sat down quietly, not uttering a word. However, from their gazes, it was evident that the 4 held lower status than Yu Zhu, with Yu Zhu as their leader. Yu Zhu said softly,
Captain, you may begin.
Lin Moyu nodded and took out the spoils he had recently obtained, item after item of storage-type magic treasures, along with a vast array of materials. Most of these came from the Golden Source region. During that rescue mission, Lin Moyu had obtained a large amount of Golden Source and storage devices, so many that he couldn't even count them all. Originally, this mission could have yielded even more materials. But Lin Moyu was in a hurry, so he didn't thoroughly clean up the battlefield. Then the black hole snake ancestor appeared and swallowed everything, leaving not a single hair behind. This caused Lin Moyu's gains to be greatly reduced. Even so, Lin Moyu's harvest was still astonishingly plentiful. Yu Zhu and the 5 other traders were completely occupied, doing their utmost to appraise the items. Lin Moyu poured himself some tea and waited patiently. Whenever one batch of goods was appraised, Lin Moyu would take out another batch. Time ticked by 1 hour, 2 hours, and the appraisal was still far from complete. Yu Zhu's beautiful eyes would occasionally glare at Lin Moyu. She was almost worked to death appraising, while Lin Moyu just sat there, leisurely sipping tea. Finally, after a full 10 hours, all the items were finally appraised. The 4 traders left one by one. From the moment they entered until they departed, they remained completely silent. Yu Zhu now held the final numbers for this batch of goods.
It's done at last.
Yu Zhu let out a long sigh, glaring at Lin Moyu again with a reproachful look in her eyes. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, pouring Yu Zhu some tea.
Don't rush, there are still a few more items.
Yu Zhu drank the tea poured by Lin Moyu and casually asked,
More? Why didn't you say so before?
Lin Moyu smiled.
Not many items, just one kind. What kind of item? Demon warships.
Yu Zhu almost spat out the water in her mouth, her pretty face showing surprise.
Demon warships?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, demon warships.
Demon warships, like human warships, were extremely troublesome to refine and required extremely precious materials. Even God-sovereign-level demon warships used God-sovereign-level materials in vast quantities. Although the human race couldn't use demon warships, they could dismantle them, melt them down, and remake them, obtaining a large amount of precious materials. So demon warships were very valuable. Yu Zhu was speechless towards Lin Moyu.
It's rare to obtain demon warships. They usually only appear during major battles. If it's an undamaged God sovereign-level demon warship, each one is worth 1 million points. That's a low price?
This price was somewhat different from Lin Moyu's expectations. He had expected that a demon warship would be worth at least 3 million points. Yu Zhu explained,
We have to dismantle the demon warships and then remelt and remake them. There will be losses during the process, and it's labor-intensive. The quality of demon warships is not as good as human warships of the same level, so their prices cannot be compared to human warships. So, taking everything into account, 1 million points is a fair price.
Lin Moyu didn't dwell on it too much.
All right, let's go with 1 million points. I have 4 demon warships here.
Yu Zhu was speechless.
How did you get so many?
During the Golden Source region, Lin Moyu obtained 3, and this time he obtained 1 more. If he hadn't been in a hurry, Lin Moyu might have been able to obtain hundreds, but unfortunately, they all went into the black hole snake ancestor's stomach, leaving nothing. For demon warships translated to 4 million points. Combined with the previous materials, the total value was 90 million points. Lin Moyu's single transaction directly broke 100 million, reaching 130 million points. Yu Zhu's eyes lit up, looking at Lin Moyu like a wealthy person.
So many points, even veteran god sovereigns who have been on the battlefield for hundreds of years don't have as many points as you. Even at the god sovereign realm, they may not have this many points.
Not to mention military merits. Including his previous points and military merits, Lin Moyu now had 200 million points and over 30,000 military merits. However, he still needed to go to the military merit office to process the 13,000 newly obtained military merits. With Lin Moyu's honorary soldier status, there wouldn't be any trouble. He was now a famous figure. Whether it was the Legion commanders or elders in Fortress No. 1, no one would cause him any difficulties. Mengang, who was in charge of the military merit office, had even been Lin Moyu's subordinate before, so he definitely wouldn't make things difficult for Lin Moyu. The light in Yu Zhu's eyes grew brighter.
To become an officer at the true god realm is already extremely rare. You, Captain, are truly amazing.
She didn't know exactly how many military merits Lin Moyu had, but it was certainly not just a first-rank officer. At the very least, he must be a second-rank officer. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, not particularly concerned about it. To him, military merits were more symbolic. What he valued was the improvement of his own strength and the evaluation of his chain missions. The same went for points. Now that he had over 200 million points, he could purchase many things. However, he didn't care for the ordinary items in the trading center. Lin Moyu took a sip of tea and said,
I need you to purchase some things for me.
Upon hearing this, Yu Zhu's eyes lit up. As a trader, what she enjoyed most was trading itself, whether buying or selling. Yu Zhu's eyes sparkled as she bit her jade lips. She knew that what Lin Moyu wanted to buy wouldn't be ordinary items.
What do you want to buy? This lady has everything.
Lin Moyu said.
High-level elemental materials, requiring single elements containing laws. The higher the material grade, the better.
Yu Zhu asked.
What about the quantity? One portion of each material is enough. Do you have any specific requirements for the elemental types?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
No specific requirements, but preferably single-element materials containing strong laws. Single elements containing laws, the higher the grade, the better. The stronger the laws, the better.
Yu Zhu repeated Lin Moyu's requirements, committing them to memory. At this point, Lin Moyu took out a large pile of black stones, which were all the black stones he had obtained during this mission. These black stones contained the laws of black holes, which could also be considered a top-notch material. However, their purity was not high enough and their grade was only at the God-Sovereign level, not meeting Lin Moyu's requirements. Lin Moyu said,
Please also find someone to help me refine these black stones, increasing their purity as much as possible.
As he spoke, Lin Moyu put the black stones into an empty storage ring and handed it to Yu Zhu. Yu Zhu accepted the storage ring.
No problem, leave it to me.
1257